Kelly with the 6 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Shift windscreen. FIVEAA approved repairer Complete Windscreens repairs it from just $99. Find the big red koala.
The hunt for 4-year-old Gus will continue today after no evidence was located on day one of the resumed search. Over 100 police, ADF and SES members were involved yesterday on the remote property near Yunta. A large number of vehicles and drones also on site. The search has moved outside the original area scoured earlier this month. Gus was last seen 2.5 weeks ago. There's been a car fire at Two Wells. It was reported on the Port Wakefield Highway shortly before 2:30 this morning. It's not known if the blaze is suspicious. The Israeli government is restricting aid in Gaza and has closed down the Rafah crossing, with Hamas yet to hand over the bodies of 24 hostages. Foreign correspondent Hannah Sinclair is in Tel Aviv. She says Donald Trump has taken to social media demanding all bodies need to be returned.
A big burden has been lifted, but the job is not done. The dead have not been returned as promised. Phase 2 begins right now. Hostage families calling on US Special Envoy Steve Witkoff to pull out every stop to ensure all the bodies are returned.
And questions are being raised about the strength of the ceasefire deal, with at least 7 Palestinians killed by Israeli fire in 2 separate incidents across the Gaza Strip. Charlie Kirk will be awarded America's highest civilian order, the Presidential Medal of Freedom, on what would have been his 32nd birthday. Credited with helping Donald Trump win back the presidency, the ceremony for Kirk will take place at the White House this morning. The MAGA influencer was assassinated last month. The Premier is being hailed a social media star. Peter Malinauskas has more than 267,000 followers on Instagram, Facebook, X and TikTok. That makes him more popular than Crows captain Jordan Dawson. Opposition leader Vincent Tarzia has just 27,500 followers across the major platforms, but it's been revealed the Premier has 3 employees looking after his online presence. Fortescue is sacking hundreds of workers across Australia and the UK. Jamel Wells reports.
The iron ore miner has about 100 workers based in WA, but the number of job losses in Australia has not yet been confirmed. The company's dropping ambitions to become a major player in the manufacture of green energy machinery and equipment. The Andrew Forrest-led company has briefed employees at Fortescue Zero in the UK. The job cuts are expected to be the largest since last year, when Fortescue axed around 100 workers, most in its green energy division.
Darren Hinch is back in hospital. The journalist and broadcaster had a fall at home last week and has 2 broken ribs. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderol Garage Doors, adding strength, style and safety to your home. Gliderol.com.au.
And it's good morning to Tom Wren.
And a very good morning to you as well, Mel. Hawthorn has been sent back to the drawing board in its pursuit of Zach Merritt, with just over 12 hours left in the trade period. Essendon rejecting pick 9, a future first round and second round picks, and young hawk Henry Hustwaite. Trade deadline is tonight, and the Crows still need to finalise a deal for Brisbane's Callum Archie, while Charlie Curnow, Clayton Oliver and Christian Petrarca are also looking to get deals done. And some good news for Lee Kalia after a difficult week, signing a 2-year extension with GWS after being shunned by St Kilda. Well, Stuart Broad is describing the Australian cricket side as the worst since 2010 ahead of this summer's Ashes. The former English quick says it's England's best chance to win in Australia in 15 years.
You wouldn't be outlandish in thinking, well, it's actually not an opinion, it's a fact. It's probably the worst Australian team since 2010, when England last won, and it's the best English team since 2010. So those things match up.
First Test aspirants Scott Boland and Sam Constas, meantime, will come face-to-face this morning when Victoria hosts New South Wales in the Sheffield Shield. South Australia will also be in action, hosting Queensland in a match starting at Adelaide Oval. And India has beaten the West Indies by 7 wickets in their second test in Delhi to win the series 2-0. And red-hot favourite for the Everest, Kaying Rising, has drawn barrier 7 for the sprint race, which will be run on Saturday. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast, sunny and 28 today, a shower or 2 and a possible storm tomorrow, 28, dropping back to 21 on Friday, partly cloudy, then back to 28 on Saturday. Right now it's 7 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Your old hot water system can drive as much as 40% of your energy bill. Fortunately, you can upgrade to something that's 70% cheaper to run thanks to Right Price. They're the leaders in heat pumps and installation. Now's the time to upgrade and save money on a more efficient hot water system and take advantage of government incentives and free installation. Reduce your energy costs today with a heat pump from Right Price. Make the switch with Right Price Hot Water.
At Right Price, heating and cooling, you can get the price right at Right Price.
Look at all this stock. All of it has to go. Go, go, go. At all TJM stores nationwide. It's TJM's national car park sale. Bull bars, rooftop tents, suspension kits, camping gear. Prices slashed. We're talking select canopies from just $1,999 and rock slider and bull bar bundles starting at $1,600. These deals are in-store only. And when they're gone, they're gone, gone, gone. Get down to your local TJM store nationwide. 17th and 18th of October.
TJM.
Take the lead.
Now, where's the one place you've always wanted to go? Well, the Phil Hoffman Travel Expo is back this Sunday, and it could be your first step toward that dream destination.
Hosted by Adelaide, you'll find over 60 airlines, cruise lines and travel operators all under one roof, plus travel talks, early bird discounts, and one-day-only deals you literally can't get anywhere else. There's also booking bonuses, including a glass of bubbles, plus you could win one of 5 incredible holiday prizes.
The Phil Hoffman Travel Expo this Sunday at the Adelaide Convention Centre. It's the biggest and best travel agent in Adelaide. Entry is free. Register at pht.com.au.
The Garrett Adelaide Jamboree is back at the Bend, a turbocharged drag racing and car show festival with free kids entertainment this Saturday at Dragway at the Bend. Tickets and event info at jamboree.com.au.
Our nurses and midwives are at breaking point. Every day we help South Australians through their most vulnerable moments. But right now we're being pushed to the limit with feelings of burnout, fatigue and being undervalued. Respectful wages and safe working conditions are about valuing us and also ensuring there are enough nurses and midwives to provide the care you deserve. Support those who care for you. Visit respectnursesandmidwives.com. Authorised by Elizabeth DeBars, ANMFSA, Ridleyton, South Australia.
7 after 6, good morning to you. Welcome to Wednesday on 5AA Breakfast, the 15th of October. The headline is, well, you've just heard it, 28 and sunny is the forecast for today. There's no other details, there's no caveats, there's no mitigating circumstances. 28 degrees, sunny, 15 to 20 k/h breeze, magnificent sort of day. That said, cool out there at the moment, 7.2 degrees, but we'll talk about the weather with the Bureau a little bit later this hour. With the sun, though, come the snakes. Rolly Burrell's going to join us after 6:30. Talk about snake season. There's already some sightings out there. If you follow any of your local community groups on social media, there's been a few snake stories that have popped up of late. We're going to get into all that after 6:30 today. Speaking of animals, but this time the pet variety, the owner of a couple of Cocker Spaniels who've said, we ain't going to the beach anymore because our dogs got sick from the algal bloom. We're going to be chatting with Naomi Hutchings, the owner of Eshty, Harriet and Olive, the sick dogs, just before 7 o'clock this morning. Then we're off to Yunta, where Hannah Ford is situated for 7 News, covering the resumed search in an expanded zone for Gus Lamont. Hannah with the absolute latest detail on that story for us. Sad news about the cancellation of the toy run. Why did it happen? How did it get to this point in time? We'll find out before 7:30 this morning. Koshy's coming up a little bit later. Some big political stories as well. Stick around. David Penworthy, good morning to you.
Good morning, Will. Good morning, listeners. This is a chock-up block program. If anything else happened, I don't know where we'd put it because there is so much going on this morning. 28 degrees, though. That's a headline I like.
That's the headline,
I think. It's great, isn't it? It's great. Will's looking very summery today. Got a nice short sleeve 1960s style shirt on. Very good.
I'm inspired by the 60s. That's why.
What do you like the most about the 60s? Well, there's a lot to like about the 60s, I reckon.
The lowest of all low-hanging fruit. My entry point into liking any music was 60s music.
Yeah.
When I was a teenager, I'd never really gotten into it.
I think it's hard to argue that there's a better period for music than the 60s. I mean, it sort of gets off to a flying start courtesy of two bands. in my order of preference, the Rolling Stones and the Beatles. Although you can argue the Stones didn't start doing their best work till the 1970s.
Yeah, there's a few that straddle that way.
Where's Let It Bleed? Is that late 60s or is that early 70s? I think it's early 70s. And then there's Exile, then there's Some Girls.
No, Let It Bleed, 28th of November 1969. Technically counts in the 60s.
I love that record.
You can count
so
that
much.
one.
It's got Gimme Shelter on it.
We were talking about...
Not a bad side one track one, is it, Gimme Shelter?
I love that song.
Good way to start a record.
That's my favourite Stones song.
What about Martin Scorsese? Every single movie. I reckon if Martin Scorsese had somehow directed Driving Miss Daisy,
do you reckon Gimme Shelter would have
featured? There'd be a scene where Morgan Freeman, in slow motion, turns around, puts on his little wraparound reading glasses, puts on his bowler's hat, but it's all done with Gimme Shelter playing in the background.
I think so.
It'd change the vibe of the movie, wouldn't it? It would suggest the point had come where he's actually decided, finally it was time he had to drive Miss Daisy into a dam and make it look like an accident.
It's a far darker take on Driving Miss Daisy.
It might have made the film interesting.
You're not a big Driving Miss Daisy guy. Not enough action for you. No. We want to talk about time this morning, the passage of it, should I say. We've got the Lucky Dumpling Market's food and beverage vouchers to give away for you to get down and enjoy food and drinks at the excellent Lucky Dumpling Market, Adelaide's Springtime Food Entertainment Hub, 17th of October to the 9th of November. What's this episode? 2 days from now, it all starts. The weather's going to be great. LuckyDumplingMarket.com for more information. The AFL's trade period ends today. Now, there have been debates on the Sports Show about how long it should be. Our interest this morning is how long it feels like it goes for. There are certain things in this world that feel like they go a lot longer than they actually do. Now, the trade period officially runs for 8 working days. It's sort of 10 days, thereabouts. It feels like it goes for 6 months.
Yeah.
In some respects, it probably does. What are things that feel like they go for a lot longer than they actually do? They warp your sense of time.
You know what? I had this feeling that last quarter... Adelaide Hawthorn. That felt like it went for about 5 hours.
Yeah, that's a good one in the sports world.
I felt like I was trapped in some
can this be
experiment.
Over?
It was like being forced to watch something like in A Clockwork Orange, having your mind reprogrammed. Just sitting there going, I can't even look at this. It's just terrible.
8223888. You can text us on 0448081395. There's a couple I can think. I don't want to say any yet because I reckon there's a couple of really obvious ones that our listeners will go to. That each and every entry puts you in the running to win Lucky Dumpling Market food and beverage vouchers. What are things that feel way longer than they actually are in reality? Let us know. We'll get to some of your calls in just a moment. News headlines next.
Hey, it's Lauren here from Adelaide. Wouldn't you love a reward just for shopping at your local Star Discount chemist? Become a Superstar Rewards member to earn points, receive birthday vouchers and more. Star Discount Chemist. How can we help? Earn and redeem points on eligible purchases. Visit website for full terms and conditions.
Adelaide's local, trusted and truly connected talkback radio station. 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Steinborner has done it again. The Jack T9 Ute has landed at Jack Motors in Gawler. Enjoy a 5-star ANCAP safety rating, 7-year unlimited K warranty, 7-year roadside assistance, 7-year capped price servicing. The Jack T9 impresses with a turbocharged diesel engine, 4x4 dual-range transmission, 3-ton towing capacity, and it can easily handle a full-size Aussie pallet with a 1,045-kilo payload. All this from $39,990 drive away. Jack Motors. It's well worth the trip. Gawler, Barossa and Clare, or at gawlerjackmotors.com.au.
A pedicure should feel good, and at Medipedi it does from the ground up. Medipedi combines the indulgent touch of beauty therapy with the trusted skills of podiatry, creating Adelaide's first medical pedicure. It's a treatment like no other. Your feet expertly cared for by a podiatrist, then pampered by one of Medipedi's trained beauty therapists. Because looking after yourself should feel exquisite right down to your toes. With 4 Adelaide locations, book now at medipediclinics.com.au. Medipedi, feel good from the ground up.
If you love your home, but you've never been in love with your kitchen, well, the answer is not far away.
Well, it's just 15 minutes up the freeway, in fact, because that's where you'll find Balhanna Kitchens by Design. It boasts the largest kitchen design showroom in the Adelaide Hills, Plus, it's a family business with 35 years' experience, so they care about taking care of you.
And their expertise goes further than kitchens. They can create laundries, linen cupboards, robes and vanities. Plus, all cabinet installations are backed by a 10-year warranty.
Bauhanna Kitchens by Design. It's not too far to go to make your dream kitchen a reality. See more at bauhannakitchens.com.au.
They say one of life's biggest decisions is buying a home. But sometimes the hardest one is leaving it. At Anglicare SA, we're here to help you stay where you belong, at home. We offer support for everyday things like cleaning, gardening, cooking, but are also experts in care management, allied health, and clinical nursing. Because we believe there's no place like home. Let us help you stay where your heart is. Find out more at Anglicare SA. You are at home.
The King Living Spring Sale ends soon. Save up to 50% on Australian design, award-winning furniture. So why buy ordinary furniture when you can come home to King? Sale ends soon. Shop online or visit a King Living showroom today.
Guard your home. Allergens, dust, pet hair, all gone. The new Miele Guard vacuum range is here now at Harvey Norman. Combining high suction power with hygienic performance, the Miele Guard traps 99.99% of allergens and dust for optimal cleaning of hard floors, carpets, upholstery, and more. All wrapped in Miele's signature blend of quality and style. Priced from just $649. The new Miele Guard vacuum range is available in-store and online at Harvey Norman now.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
16 after 6, the AFL's trade period wraps up today. Rennie will give us a preview of what he expects is going to happen shortly. It's a period that's been running for just over a week. Feels like it's been going for 6 months. We're asking you this morning, inspired by that, to nominate things that feel like they last forever when in reality they don't. What feels like it lasts way longer than it actually does? Mike and Glengarry's called in. Morning to you, Mike.
Morning, gents. How are you?
Good, mate.
Thanks, Mike.
The one that sticks out to me as summer approaches, it's got to be the Big Bash. It seems like it starts in October, November, and it finishes about a week before footy starts.
That is a great nomination,
Mike. It does feel
Mike.
like it goes forever.
Yeah, it's a shocker. It's an absolute shocker. And I don't think there's anybody you speak to that doesn't agree with it. So it's about time they, I think, addressed it.
Well, they tried to, what is it? The goose that laid the golden egg.
Well, they killed it, didn't they?
It started off where I think every side played each other twice or something. And now it's like baseball. There's just games all the time. You can't tell one from the other. It's a great nomination, Mike.
Yeah, the Big Bash feels like when I left high school and went to uni for the first time. I went, so I can have a Wendy's flake shake every day if I felt like it. And eventually I realised that was bad and not any of the 3 food groups or 5 food groups. That's how I feel about the Big Bash. Chris in Christie's Beach, good morning.
Morning, guys. Well, have you ever been stuck in traffic and need the toilet? That is a passage of time.
That's pretty bad.
That's a good one. Red lights feel like an eternity under those circumstances.
Catherine in Nan, speaking on behalf of every woman who's been in this predicament, says pregnancy.
I reckon, I don't want to speak on behalf of our wonderful women folk, but it feels like it's one of those things that feels like it takes forever when you're in the midst of it, and then within a couple of years you forget.
Yeah.
Hence the continuation of the human race. All the nasty things about having a child seem to be forgotten within a couple of years.
We're genetically programmed to do that. Otherwise, we'd all be forced to get vasectomies to make sure it never happened again.
Exactly right.
And it's funny, vasectomies, being a vasectomizer, or whatever they're called, doesn't seem to be a huge demand for it. It's not like, there's not one on every corner. I'm sure it's easy to get a vasectomy.
They're probably counter specialists, aren't they? There's probably controlled scarcity or something, isn't there?
I don't know.
Or if maybe it was open to the free market, you'd get your local chop shop.
That's right.
Probably not.
Get some guy from Iran to do it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You want a vasectomy? You want Manchester cigarettes? That's good. I got a carton of fags for $150. I got 1 litre of tahini, and I got a vasectomy, all for $300.
Oh, yeah. Found him on Facebook Marketplace.
That's right.
Vern, I think this is probably true. Vern on the Police Home Care text line says, from a grandparent's point of view, grandchildren's dance competitions.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think that's a good one.
Let's not get too misty-eyed about everything involving the kids. Like, the kids are the greatest thing that'll ever happen here. But dead set. Like, you can throw the school theatre night in there. You know, the thing that bells the cat with the school theatre night? The end-of-year production at the start. Can we please ask all parents to remain in the theatre for the entirety of the presentation so that all the children have an audience? Because otherwise you'd watch your own kid and you would be out of there so fast. But you got to stay.
This is a remarkable story, and I don't know that much about watches, which is why we've got our next guest on. A Breitling watch has been handed into Port Pirie Police, located by a member of the public in Port Pirie West, and someone did the right thing. They handed it to the police station, which is terrific. Now, they want the police obviously trying to find the person. No one's come forward, though, to claim the watch as yet. If you believe it belongs to you, contact the Port Pirie Police Station, 8638 4000. You need something like a serial number or some proof of ownership. There's a generic image that they have put up. But, look, I'm no watch. You're a bit of a watch guy. You like wearing watches, don't you? But
I always wear one. But I'm not a collector. I don't know much about them.
You're not a collector. Well, the good news is we've got on the line the watch doctor himself, Robert Kalelnich. Robert, good morning to you.
Good morning.
So tell us about this watch. You've seen a picture of it. Is it likely to be valuable?
Well, this is the thing. There's a lot of copy watches as well. So the police might have a counterfeit Breitling. We don't know if it's a real one or not.
What would a real one be worth?
Oh, well, an 18-karat gold one, $100,000. Anywhere from $4,000 to $100,000.
Okay, so it's a serious watch. It's at least $4,000 if it's real.
The Breitlings. There's a Breitling shop in King William Street now. Okay. Which only sell Breitling. So the watch industry has really come up, and so people are really specialising in expensive watches now, and the Breitling's up there. The Breitling is a very sought-after Swiss watch.
Is it easy to tell a fake from a real one for you, Robert, with your expertise?
Oh, yeah. Look, I get them in my shop all the time. About 80% of these watches coming to my shop are fake.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like the fake, yeah. And they're getting really, really good. A friend of mine who is a Rolex expert, he told me that one nearly fooled him, right? Which astounded me because this guy knows everything about Rolex.
Really?
They're getting that good. Yeah, they're getting that good now that they're becoming identical inside and out. So you really got to be careful if you buy anything like this.
Have you had a chance to see the picture that the police have released of the watch?
No, I haven't seen the picture. I haven't seen the picture personally, but they're becoming so good. Look, from the outside of the watch, you can only really tell in the inside 100%. On the outside, I've been fooled once. on the outside because they're getting so high tech now. They're getting so high tech. You really got to be really careful. I haven't seen the picture, but from a picture you can't tell. Not really.
Right, okay.
No, you can't tell.
I was worried you'd be able to tell from the picture what type of Breitling it is, though, and a ballpark figure of how much it's worth, I guess.
Well,
if it was real.
If it was real, you'd be looking at... is it a full stainless steel one? Has it got a metal band on it?
No, I don't think so, no.
No.
I'm not even sure if we've seen it yet because I don't know if the police have actually released it. So,
right. But look, I would say anything from 5,000 up to 20,000.
Oh wow!
Right. You see, if no one's coming to claim it, that could be a fake.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Yeah.
Understand it because that's human nature. If you lose a $5,000 to $10,000 watch, let's say, you're running. You're calling the police. You're calling.
Yeah.
You're really. But if it's a copy, people don't worry about it. People find copies all the time.
Just go back to
Come into my
Bali.
shop.
Go back to Bali and get another one.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, hey, Robert, on the other end of the
Yeah.
spectrum, what's
Yeah.
the most expensive watch someone's brought into you to get repaired?
Well, probably. See, the thing is, a lot of these brands, these super exclusive brands, you don't even touch because only they can touch it. It's a bit like a Lamborghini.
Right. Yeah.
Right? You don't
yeah.
take a Lamborghini into a altitude.
Sure.
Right? Yeah, right.
Sure.
You just don't do it, right?
Get Lubaville around for your Lamborghini.
yeah, exactly, right? So you don't. Right, you don't. So it's a specialised watch, only exclusive to that particular manufacturer, right? The Rolex, you could do Rolexes, you could do Breitlings, but the super exclusive ones, 200,000. I've had people bring watches to me from different countries where money is plentiful, and they give it to me, and I go, "Do you know what this is?" And they go, "Yeah." I said, "No, I can't touch this." I don't even touch them. I don't even look at them, right? But the thought makes me sick, right? Take it back to where you bought it, because sorry.
I was just going to say, Robert, great chatting with you, mate. Thanks for coming on. Are you next to City Cross or are you in City Cross?
No, I'm in City Cross.
You're in City Cross. The Watch Doctor. You can check it.
Watch Doctor.
Watchdoctor.com.au. Robert, thanks for coming on, mate. Appreciate it.
All the best. Bye.
The Watch Doctor himself, Robert Coolidge.
He was great.
He was terrific. I remember being in a shopping mall in Singapore and looking in and at that time there were watches in the window there that were worth more than my house.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It was just ludicrous.
I bought this in Singapore, but it's not one of them. It's a Tissot.
Oh, yeah, right.
But it's totally waterproof, so I can garden with it. I can swim with it. Jump in the pool. No dramas.
Never comes off.
Only for bedtime. Yeah, keep it on.
Con and McGill's called in. Con, what are the sort of things they have you looking at your wristwatch thinking this has got to be over soon?
Yeah, in the old days, Marrickville Primary School, we had 7 weeks summer school holidays, and they seemed to go forever. A mob of us would hang around at Norwood Swimming Pool, and no kidding, by the end of the 7 weeks, we were red and tan, and we're almost craving to go back to school, just to open the new school.
Well, that's a nice one,
yeah,
Con.
it's good.
That's good. I never felt that way about school holidays.
I can remember
they always
just thinking this is going for like such a long summer.
Oh, to me, they felt like they never went long enough. Carlos in Inman Valley, what's something that feels like it goes for much longer than it actually does?
I would have to say similar to the last caller, but school holidays where you have to work but the kids are at home.
Oh,
it is. That's right. It cuts both ways.
Yeah, that's right. Good one, Carlos.
I like this one from our good mate Rob. Time dragging, nothing slows down like clothes shopping with your partner.
Oh, amen to that.
You know, the real trick as a guy is you've got to time the point at which you say, that looks great on you, because if you say it too soon, they know you're just saying it so you can go and do something else. You can't walk in a joinery frock salon, pick one item and go, that looks great on you. Okay.
I just feel grateful to be part of a generation that during the period of me being with my wife, the mobile phone became something that contained all knowledge on the planet Earth.
Completely, and you can get your size.
Because I do remember a time before it too. So I'm just grateful that it exists at those times. Hey, the weather today is going to be magnificent. 7.9 degrees outside at the moment, heading for a top of 28. 28 tomorrow as well, but a possible storm and a change. 21 on Friday, then warm for the weekend. 28 Saturday and 31 on Sunday. Tom Wren's in the 5AA Breakfast studio with us. We've been saying right throughout the morning that the trade period wraps up today. Colours, custom design, any house, any style. Glidewell Garage Doors, glidewell.com.au. Morning, Rennie.
Morning, Will. Morning, David. I was just thinking, did Scorsese direct The Devil's Advocate? I heard you talking about
The Devil's
music.
Advocate. No,
he didn't do that because they finished with
Pacino and Keanu Reeves.
They finished with
fantastic Pacino performance in that movie.
They finished with Paint It Black, which was a bit of a at the end, the closing credits. So it wasn't Scorsese though. I don't think.
I don't think it was.
No, great movie though.
I'm not sure who directed it.
Was Paint It Black a Stones cover or was it?
No, I think that was an original. Wasn't
it got covered.
Yeah,
subsequently.
No, they wrote it. I'm pretty sure they wrote it.
Right. Anyway, I digress. Great movie, though, isn't it? Yeah, Ripper. Are we negotiating? Always. Trade period, speaking of negotiating, it winds up tonight. Bring it on. I think we're all waiting to see what happens. Zach Merritt, Essendon have thrown it back at Hawthorn, saying not enough. They've offered a first round, pick 9, a future first round, second round pick, and Henry Hustwaite, but they're saying that's not enough. I'd be taking that if I was Essendon.
Completely. They're kidding themselves if they think they're anywhere close to winning anything.
And sort of getting to the point today, it's like 2 a.m. at McMahon's at the Tonsley, where all the clubs standing around going, well, I've got to patch somebody.
Yeah.
That's the point of that. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think we're all looking forward to an ending, definitely. And with Merritt as well, when someone wants to leave your club once, twice, 3 times, I think you say, you know what, go.
And he's almost on a 30 and you're nowhere near winning anything.
They're obviously trying to play it with the fans. Oh, we're playing really tough, but I think it's time to move him on. Yeah. Petrarca, Oliver, Calamachi still hasn't been done. All tonight, 7 o'clock, Rowie and Timmy G will have it covered. So looking forward to that. And I'm glad to see Lika Leah did get a contract extension with GWS after St Kilda totally shafted him. So that was nice for him. I hope he got a bit of a pay bump, but he'll be welcomed back there, but pretty awkward for him.
Yeah, it certainly was. Good on you, Randy.
Good on you, boys.
Thanks, mate.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Sunny and 28 today with the 6:30 news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Make RAA-approved windscreen repairer, Complete Windscreens, your insurer repairer of choice. Visit completewindscreens.com.au.
Over 100 police, ADF and SES members failed to find any evidence on day 1 of the resumed search for Gus at a remote property south of Yunta. The hunt will continue today, concentrating on zones outside the original search area. The 4-year-old was last seen on Saturday, the 27th of September. The search is being conducted as part of Task Force Horizon. The bodies of another 4 dead hostages are being released by Hamas, with the Red Cross admitting it may be difficult to find all of them. Meantime, there are concerns about the ceasefire deal, with at least 7 Palestinians killed by Israeli fire in 2 separate incidents across the Gaza Strip. The BBC's Barbara Plett-Usher says they've also seen fatal clashes between Hamas and rival gangs.
Hamas has reconstituted its armed fighters in the streets of Gaza's cities. It says that it is restoring security, it is eliminating lawlessness, and that is something that Gaza residents want to see happen because there is a sort of anarchic environment there. It is also targeting its rivals and settling scores. So there were some very deadly clashes with one of those in Gaza City. There are others, but they are not in the area that Hamas controls. So, Israel controls about 50% of Gaza, and it's alleged that the Israelis have armed some of these gangs.
The 48-year-old man will front court in Melbourne today, accused of a string of violent offences with a fake gun before a dramatic arrest in the CBD. Christina Hearn reports.
This all started with an alleged assault at a convenience store and 2 alleged carjackings, one in Tarneet and one in North Melbourne, with the man waving a fake gun at his victims. Police were hot on his tail as he drove into the CBD with heavily armed tactical police firing rubber bullets at the man while office workers ran for their lives. He was eventually taken into custody on Little Bourke Street with a bloodied face, treated in hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. He has been charged with an array of offences, including carjacking with an imitation firearm, assault and threats to kill.
Fortescue will sack workers across Australia and the UK. The iron ore miner has about 100 workers based in WA, but the number of job losses in Australia has not yet been confirmed. The company rethinking its push to become a major player in the manufacture of green energy machinery and equipment. The Andrew Forrest-led company has briefed employees at Fortescue Zero in the UK. The job cuts are expected to be the largest since last year, when Fortescue axed around 700 workers, mostly in its green energy division. Another major event on the local calendar starts today, the Adelaide Film Festival. The opening night will see the pink carpet rolled out at the Capri for the Australian premiere of the movie Jimper. The film with Olivia Colman and John Lithgow was shot in Adelaide and Europe. Also screening at the festival, Frankenstein, starring Jacob Elordi, and the Springsteen biopic Deliver Me From Nowhere. Now turning to 5AA sport.
Colours, custom design, any house, any style. Gliderol Garage Doors. Gliderol.com.au.
TikTok, Tom Wren.
Oh, it's been like that for the last week and a bit, hasn't it, Mel? Some big deals still to be done with the trade deadline coming at 7 o'clock tonight, our time, so at least it is going to be finalised this evening. Now, the Hawks have put forward a deal for Essendon captain Zach Merritt, and that included pick 9, a future first-round selection, and Henry Hustwaite. But that so far has been rejected by the Bombers. Adelaide also still needs to work out a deal for Brisbane Premiership forward Callum Archie. Meantime, Nathan Buckley says his return to coaching is part of his journey back to a senior coaching job. The Collingwood great telling Fox Footy becoming a Geelong assistant is a step to becoming the Tasmanian coach.
When you look at how far the Devils might be away, there's a gap there. So I can either tread water, doing the same thing I've done for the last 3 or 4 years, or I can school myself up, challenge myself in a different way, and be ready to go should the opportunity come.
Former England great Ian Botham has slammed the current squad as arrogant heading into this first Ashes test. The smackdown is in response to Ben Stokes' side choosing not to play any warm-up games against state sides before the Perth test. And former Socceroos boss Graham Arnold is hoping to take Iraq to their first World Cup since 1986. They're taking on Saudi Arabia this morning. The Socceroos, of course, take on Team USA in a friendly for the first time since 2010. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast. Sunny and 28 today, a shower or two and a possible storm tomorrow, 28. Friday, partly cloudy, 21, then back to 28 and sunny on Saturday. Right now it is 9 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
24 minutes to 7, giving away food and drink vouchers for the Ausasia Festival Lucky Dumpling Market that's starting this Friday. Going to be a terrific weekend for it. Inspired by the end of trade work, we're asking you about things that feel like they go forever. Getting some terrific suggestions through on the Police Home Care text line. Jerry in Warradale's called in. Morning, Jerry.
Oh, hi, guys. This will probably be everybody that I can possibly think of with a hatred of the dentist. Having wisdom teeth taken out in a chair is probably not a very good idea. That happened when I was younger. I thought that was never going to finish. But having really long, excruciating root canal work done, and it just seems to take forever and ever
Well, it does,
and ever.
Root canal takes hours.
And especially when the dentist is really chatty and they try to talk to you about what movies they watched on the weekend and have a bit of a chat to them while you've got your mouth full of, rubber, pieces of stuff to hold your teeth together, and it's disgusting. And then they go, oops, and that's the last thing you want to hear from the dentist.
I reckon it's a great point you make, Jerry. And they never ask sort of standard yes/no questions, do they? Where you can go, yeah. Like they'll say things like, how do you see the whole peace process playing out now in the Middle East? You go,
hang on, sorry. What dentist do you go to?
It's been a long, open-winded question. Yes, no answers. At least you go,
Yeah, I'm with you.
Not an open-ended question.
No.
A lot of Port fans and a lot of Crows fans nominating certain grand finals. The number 2007 has come up a bit.
Grand finals with sevens in them. I don't think we need to be specific,
the
do
other
we?
one, of course, 2017.
Yeah.
2017. I'm surprised no one's nominated Slide Nights yet. I remember Grandma Penn had a neighbour in Waterman Terrace in Mitchell Park who'd been to Fiji, and she said, but Beryl's back from Fiji, and she's got some slides.
Oh, dear.
She's invited us around. I remember sitting in this woman's house. I think we were there for 3 days.
Oh, that sounds like... Did you do something wrong?
Slide nights were all the go in the 70s.
Oh, dear.
It's kind of a pity because slides are good.
Isn't it just been superseded by people showing you what their photos have taken on their phone? Isn't that what social media was?
If you can attach your phone to the television, maybe.
Well, yeah, you can. That was just you were just subject to an early form of Instagram, where it just required you physically going around to their house to look at their boring photos.
I tell you what, Grandma Penn's friend didn't look like she was on Instagram.
We had a really scary, disturbing story on Channel 7 last night about a Port Augusta family whose young daughter, they were out camping, and the young girl was bitten by a tiger snake. They took her to hospital. She'd been bitten on the foot. They got there and the hospital said, we've got no anti-venom. And they said, how the hell can you have no anti-venom? You're a hospital. Luckily, in her case, because it was a potentially deadly bite, the bite was what they call a dry bite. No poison went in, so she was fine. Subsequently, SA Health did an investigation and found they actually had heaps of anti-venom. There was a miscommunication between the in-hospital pharmacist and the person that was making the request. In any case, it's a reminder that it is snake season. Well, on a day like today, they'll probably be out sunning themselves 28 degrees and sunny. If you look at community pages around the state, Emily Brand showed us one of hers. There was a snake found in her street a little bit earlier this week. They're starting to get out and about. Rolly Burrell means it's coming to a busy time for him. From Snake Catchers Adelaide. Morning, Rolly.
Good morning. How are you?
We're great, thank you, Rolly. So tell us a bit about tiger snakes. They don't seem to be as common. Well, they're clearly not as common as browns. They're pretty deadly, though, aren't they?
They're not as deadly as the eastern brown, and they're not that common anymore. Like a lot of them have been wiped out over the years. I remember seeing a photo where they had about 500-600 hanging on a farm gate, or a farm fence, I should say, and we only get about 1 or 2 tiger snakes a year.
Really?
Yeah, we don't get a lot.
What's wiped them out?
Humans.
Right.
We're gonna.
Those things.
I shouldn't laugh, should I?
No.
Yeah, we're good at that.
Yeah. We are. If we don't understand something, we destroy it.
Yeah, totally. So if you get bitten by one, if you're a kid, could they kill you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, first aid's very important. If you do first aid properly, you can last 12 to 18 hours, as long as your bandage is nice and firm on your arm. You can last a long time. So it's very important to do the correct first aid. But it's been a very slow season. Like, we should have been going 8 weeks ago, and we've only just started.
Really?
We're halfway through spring.
Yeah, that's true.
Another 2 weeks, we've only got a month and spring's over. So it's been very slow. Only the last warm day. See, what a snake does is it'll wake up from rumination, which means hibernation, and it'll sun itself for about a couple of weeks. It'll come out from the place it's picked through the autumn months, and it'll sun itself, and then it'll go and start looking for some food, and then it'll start mating. So mating should start in about another month's time.
Yeah, right.
And then the babies come out usually in February.
Why do you think
the 25th?
Why do you think it's been a slow start? Is it something to do with the population? It's the weather, is it?
No, the weather. The weather's been shit.
So may a snake say.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, mate, we've seen worse.
No, it's been utter crap, this week we'll start booming for a while, but then it's cold again.
Do snakes wake up like humans, where they sort of wake up and go, oh, looks pretty warm today, and they go, no, actually, bugger it, I'm going back to bed, and then they sort of keep hibernating for another couple of weeks? Do they do it gradually?
Well, they do. They do it gradually, and this is what happens when we sort of get weather like this. Everyone says, like if you get 5-6 days of 25 degrees, they're all going to come out at once.
Yeah, right.
So then everyone says, oh, there's snakes everywhere, but really there's no more snakes in them what there is when they come out slow or fast.
Have you had any... Sorry, Riley.
Sorry. No, it's all right.
Have you had any... Sorry, you go, mate. Sorry.
So what happens is, if it comes out slowly, then the snakes just come out gradually, and they're not prolific, But when it's weather like this, everyone sees snakes the first day because they're all trying to get out and get a feed. They're all starving.
And Rolly, just before we let you go, have you had any weird finds recently, or any really close to town finds?
No, only humans.
Where if people do happen to come across a slithery friend, Rolly, where can they contact you?
Oh, they can ring us on 0413 511 440.
Good stuff. Rolly
Good on you, Rolly.
From Snake Catchers Adelaide. Slow start to the season, which I don't think will be, concerning. Rolly was of concern, but I don't think many of our listeners are lamenting the slow snake season thus far.
No.
Doug in Blakeview, he might be lamenting how long certain things in life feel like they take. Doug, good morning. What's something that feels like it goes forever?
Oh, yeah, I remember when I applied for council approval to build a shed in my backyard up there at Blakeview. That seemed like it took forever just to rubber stamp a bit of paper, but I guess you'd expect that with the council.
Maybe, Doug, it didn't feel like it took forever. Maybe it just did take forever.
Yeah, you're not eligible, Doug, because it just did take forever.
Cheers, guys.
Good on you, Doug. Thank you, mate. 8223 0000 or text us on 0480 08 1395, the Police Home Care text line.
Be like the roadworks and beautification process down at Jetty Road. That's going to be entering its second year soon.
It would be nice to leave something for everyone's grandchildren, won't it?
Oh, yeah, totally.
You know, future generations.
Yeah, $40 million for a planter box and 25 fewer car parks.
Not everyone who started to see the pyramids originally being built got to see them through, you know?
Yeah,
it's a similar
exactly.
thing.
Yeah.
But thousands of years from now, people will be going, how did they do Jetty Road?
Well, and the other more pertinent question, given that it's costing $40 million, is they'll go, and why?
Let's check traffic. Help Australians way to access critical medicines by visiting strongerpbs.com.au for more information.
Thanks, Will, and morning, David. At Parkside Urgent Sewer Works, Fullerton Road near Florence Street, Coromandel Valley, Burst Water Main there, Black Road near Main Road. We are slow, South Road, Glandorf for tram overpass works, and look out for those ongoing works at Flinders Park, Grange Road near Holbrooks Road for the intersection upgrade. Only running cameras today, got one right now, South Terrace in the Parklands, and we'll have another later on in the morning. Howard Terrace at Leabrook. Harris Car Friend Sale event is on tomorrow for one day only. Enjoy exclusive offers across bedding, kitchen, electrical and more. Conditions apply. Harris Scarf, great brands, great prices. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Hi, I'm Lynn Andrews. For over 50 years we, the Lynn Andrews team, have specialised in commercial and residential property management. But above all, we specialise in people, helping to make life easier for investors and tenants. Everyone is treated with empathy and respect. It's the way we do business. It's the Lynn Andrews way. For residential and commercial property management, we're here to help you. Visit lynnandrews.com.au.
Our place is your place at the Albion Hotel. A big birthday? Catch up with friends? A casual get-together with good company? Or maybe you're planning something bigger, a special function, a milestone celebration, or a corporate gathering. Whatever the reason, celebrate it at the Albion. And for freebies, cheeky deals, and insider perks, download the Albion Hotel loyalty app. It's happy hour all day, every day. The Albion Hotel. Your local, your people, your place.
Now, if your air conditioner is more than 15 years old, it's likely running without an inverter. That means it switches on and off constantly, using more power than it should and driving up your electricity bill.
REQ Refrigeration and Energy Solutions can replace it with a modern, energy-efficient system from trusted brands like Mitsubishi Electric. These newer units adjust power based on your needs. They run more smoothly, and importantly, they use far less energy.
When you choose REQ air conditioning, you're not just getting a better system, you're getting expert advice. They'll show you how to use your new air conditioner properly so you get the best performance and lowest running costs.
It's a smart way to stay cool in summer, warm in winter and save money all year round. Search REQ Air Conditioning for a free in-home quote. That's REQ Air Conditioning.
There's one word that should be deleted forever. It transcends language, culture, geography, status, and it doesn't discriminate. That word is cancer, and until we can delete it, we're going to treat it. Lift Cancer Care is dedicated to offering additional cancer services to complement your existing treatment plan. We collaborate closely with your medical team to achieve the best outcomes for your diagnosis. So, if you or a loved one are ever struck with the C word, think of the L word first. liftcancercare.com.au.
At Coles, great hair days start with great half-price hair care. Like half-price Pantene shampoo or conditioner, 900ml, now just $10. Shop in-store or online at Coles. Offer ends Tuesday.
If you're in South Australia, you can get $200 off when you take out a new NRMA Home Buildings Insurance policy with promo code 200HOME. Because that's what a help company would do. Visit nrma.com.au/SA offer or call 132 132 to redeem today. Offer ends January 9th, 2026. Excludes renewing policies. South Australia risk addresses only. Full offer T's and C's online. Always read the PDS. PDS and TMDs available from NRMA Insurance.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
11 minutes to 7. Let's talk about the weather today, because I think the moment that sun comes up, everyone's going to be discussing it. Simon Timke at the Weather Bureau joins us. Looks like a perfect day, Simon. Is it going to be like that?
Look, if you like a bit of sunshine, Will, today is the perfect day. Expecting sunshine right through the day. And in fact, looking at the satellite picture, pretty much cloud-free skies right across the state at the moment. The winds locally, generally pretty light northeasterly to start off with, and we'll see a bit of sea breeze develop, I think, during the day, tending the winds around a little bit more west to southwesterly during the afternoon. But temperature-wise, it was a little bit of a cool start, actually. We had a minimum temperature 7 degrees just before 6 a.m, currently sitting on 9.3 degrees and expecting a pretty warm 28 degrees for the maximum today. Around the suburbs, 28 as well for Mount Barker, 26 degrees for Noarlunga and Glenelg, and 30 degrees for Elizabeth. Similar temperature on the way for our maximum temperature on Thursday, but a much warmer night. Overnight minimum down to just 18 degrees for Thursday morning, ahead of tomorrow's maximum of 28. But there's a change on the way, so I think we'll see some clouds sort of thicken up through the morning. The wind change itself probably moving across early afternoon on Thursday, and there's likely to see some showers following that. The chance of a thunderstorm as well, possibly even as early as late morning, but more likely during the afternoon. The winds a little bit fresher tomorrow, north to northeasterly at first, but shifting around southwesterly early afternoon as that change moves across. Friday should be mostly dry. I think maybe just a slight chance of a shower in the morning, but a sunny afternoon. A bit cooler too, 21 degrees the maximum for Friday after an overnight minimum of 13. But then it warms up pretty quickly again over the weekend, and a day pretty similar to today on Saturday. So sunny, 28 degrees the maximum. And then Sunday, another change moving across. It'll get a little bit hotter ahead of that change. 31 degrees the maximum, and again, another pretty warm night with a minimum temperature of 20 degrees. But a change moving across, and again, chance of some showers and thunderstorms around with that change on Sunday. Early next week, staying a little bit on the cooler side, some showers around on Monday, 22, and a shower or two for Tuesday, 18 degrees.
Good stuff, Simon. Thank you for that. Simon Timke there from the Weather Bureau.
All right, let's head to Sapole. Senior Constable Matt Brown's on the line. Matt, there's been a car fire at Two Wells.
That's right, Will. Emergency crews were called to Port Wakefield Highway just after 2 a.m. today after reports that a car was on fire. The fire crews were quickly in attendance and extinguished the blaze, which destroyed the interior of the car. And the Toyota Ute had been stolen from a Waterloo Corner property on Tuesday, the 14th of October. So anyone who saw or heard any suspicious activity in the area is asked to call Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000.
And Matt, also a bloke's been arrested for doing a burnout in front of police at Somerton Park.
Yeah, not ideal, Dave. I mean, it's ideal for us because it makes life very easy.
That's right. You wouldn't have to put down your donut.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I'm surprised you didn't see the sign that said police on the side of the car. No, I'll be safe here. So I believe that's stuff for summer nats, I think.
Yeah.
But just before 5 p.m. yesterday, police saw a ute perform a burnout at the intersection of Diagonal Road and Wilton Avenue at Somerton Park. They pulled the ute over and breath tested the driver, and the driver returned a positive roadside result, but then became belligerent towards police, refusing to provide his details and resisting arrest. So the 39-year-old Craigburn farm man was placed under arrest. He subsequently recorded a blood alcohol reading of 0.132 and was issued a 6-month immediate loss of licence notice. So he's been charged with drink driving, misuse of a motor vehicle, refuse his name and address, resist police, and assault prescribed emergency worker. His car's been pounded for 28 days, and he's been bailed to appear in court at a later date.
And just lastly, Matt, a man's been arrested for calling the police assistance line.
That's right. A little bit more than once, Will, more than 70 times in the space of 24 hours. It'll be alleged about 11 a.m. on Tuesday, the 14th of October, the Police Communications Centre received a call on the 131444 number from a man who began swearing and abusing the call centre staff member. The call was terminated, and the same man then began calling 131444 more than 70 times during the day and night. And about 5:20 a.m. today, patrols went to the man's Hectorville home and arrested him for used carriage service in a harassing or offensive way. He's been bailed to appear in the Adelaide Magistrates Court on the 3rd of December. And nuisance calls like this, guys, tie up the 131444 number and also the 000 number, or 000 number, for people that actually need it. So of course, you should only call those numbers, in an emergency or if you require police assistance.
Matt, wasn't there another case recently exactly like this one?
That's right. I think back in August, a person was calling the 131444 number. I think it was over 100 times.
Yeah, that's right. From memory, yeah.
So we'll just have to, if we gave them one of those old dial phones where you had to, it's a bit hard to explain over the radio for millennials, but you couldn't just say, hey, Google, call 131444 for me.
And no hit redial either. Good stuff, Matt. Senior Constable Matt Brown from SAPOL.
We're going to be chatting after 8:30 this morning with the Environment Minister, Lucy Hood, about the summer action plan for the algal bloom and the $100 million that's been committed to helping businesses and affected communities over the course of the ensuing months. So there are problems right now, though, and we get different reports each and every morning. People take pictures of things that have washed up on the beach, and sometimes we get stories like this one that we had on 7 News last night. Naomi Hutchings is the owner of a bunch of dogs who like to go down to the beach. Well, they won't be going any longer because Naomi believes that the algal bloom got her dogs sick. Naomi, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you doing?
We're really well. Just take us through what happened.
Yeah, it actually wasn't just the dogs. It was also my wife, so the 5 of us got sick. Yeah, we went to Port Wollonga and it was on the Saturday of the long weekend, so we're very excited to finally get some warm weather. And we saw that SA government website saying that if there's no foam present, no discoloration, that's okay to take the dogs there. So my wife and I went there and it looked lovely, no discoloration. There were actually some people swimming, some young people, and walking their dogs. And we went down there and within 20 minutes, I started to get sick, coughing, runny nose, just feeling really off. Didn't realise because my wife was walking behind me. She was also feeling really bad and struggling to breathe, and neither of us have asthma. And then one of the dogs just started trying to get towards the car. And so we just turned around and went up. And by the time we got up from the beach, the whole 3 of them and us were coughing. Their eyes were bloodshot. So I've gone straight to the shower and started washing off. And one of them was then vomiting. And a lady came over who saw us all coughing and said exactly the same thing had happened to her. And, we headed home and were sick for about 3 days, 4 days. And my wife literally lost her voice.
Did it feel like an asthmatic type response for you, Naomi?
Yeah, look, as I said, we don't have that. But honestly, the dogs were wheezing. I wish I had filmed it because I was really worried we'd have to go to the vets because they were coughing so much that they were vomiting and, they were so lethargic and so were we. And the only way I can explain it is we once had COVID and felt pretty damn sick. We were really unwell, for probably 3 days. So it just felt like, I don't know, a really bad flu cold thing. But the dogs, the first night, they were up all night just coughing. The whole lot of us were. And there were some dead fish, but they certainly hadn't touched anything. And Nora and I, we actually hadn't swum. They were in the water, not swimming properly, but bouncing around in it. But and then when I wrote a post, I used my wife's Facebook to post, and actually a lot of people who said they were there that day had the same thing.
Was there anything remarkable? I mean, you mentioned there was no sign of foam or no obvious bloom-related stuff. Was it a really windy day or anything like that? No, that was the other thing. It wasn't, because I was so excited. We've been living in Brisbane, to be honest, and nobody's talking about. I'm from Adelaide, so I always check, but really no one. It's like this doesn't exist. But then. Yeah, so I made sure I checked, and that's one of the things. I was like, okay, it's not even windy. It was just a lovely, the first warm day in a while, and we were really keen to get some warmth, and it was quite beautiful. Look, that, it's gorgeous there, that colour. It looked lovely.
When we're at Aldinga. You said Saturday, the long weekend, didn't you, Naomi?
Yes, the first one, yep.
Yeah,
yep.
we're at Aldinga the whole weekend, and Saturday was a cracking day. But
Wasn't it?
to your point, when we were driving back on Monday afternoon, my breathing feels weird. And I'm like, nah. And I don't know, there must have been something in the air that weekend. For the record, a couple of people said, why would you take your dogs to the beach? Well, can I just read to you? I've called it up while we've been chatting. Government of South Australia, this is the website, algalbloom.sa.gov.au. This is in the FAQ section. Can you take your dog to the beach? Yes, it is safe to take your dog to the beach. For their safety, don't let them eat dead fish or swim in foamy or discoloured water. But the official advice when it comes to doing what you were doing, which is taking your dog for a walk along the beach, is yes, I quote, it is safe to take your dog to the beach. Important call, I reckon, Naomi. Thank you for sharing it with us.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Naomi. I wonder if any of our listeners have had extreme physical reactions to the bloom like that. Not what you've seen, but what you've felt. Let us know what it was like. What was the day like? Were there any signs? 8223 0000 or text us on the Police Home Care text line, 0448 08 1395.
Mawson Lakes Volkswagen has a problem. Too many Volkswagens, not enough space. Yep, they're overstocked, and that's very good news for you because every demo is priced to clear, like right now. Their solution? A huge demo clearance with hot prices. But that's not all. They're offering immediate delivery and finance so easy, you'll wonder why you didn't do this sooner. But don't wait. These demo Volkswagens won't sit around for long. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, Salisbury Highway, just a short drive from the city.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
The very latest news and information. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Sunny and 28 today with the 7 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
For the best price, quality and same-day service, trust Complete Windscreens. RAA approved, Main North Road, Prospect.
The search for Gus on a remote property near Yunta will continue today. Yesterday, a large contingent returned to the site to resume the hunt for the missing 4-year-old. Over 100 police, ADF and SES members, along with dozens of vehicles and drones, were deployed. The focus is zones outside the original search area. Gus was last seen 2.5 weeks ago. A ute has been torched at Two Wells. Emergency crews were called to Port Wakefield Highway just after 2 this morning. Senior Constable Matt Brown has told David and Will the fire crews quickly extinguished the blaze, which destroyed the interior of the vehicle.
The Toyota ute had been stolen from a Waterloo Corner property on Tuesday the 14th of October. Anyone who saw or heard any suspicious activity in the area is asked to call Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000.
Donald Trump has declared phase 2 of his ceasefire agreement begins now, sending a strong warning to Hamas to disarm. Questions are being raised about whether the peace deal will hold in Gaza. Israel is blocking aid into the enclave because the bodies of 24 hostages are yet to be returned. Speaking from the Oval Office, the US president told reporters he can guarantee Hamas will drop its weapons.
If they don't disarm, we will disarm them. They know I'm not playing games, okay? Now, we did something monumental. We got the hostages back. That was the first thing we had to do, above all else.
Teenagers on Instagram will now be restricted to PG-13 content. Under 18s who sign up for the app will be automatically given a restrictive account. While YouTube Australia is introducing mental health and wellbeing content just for teen streaming, it will be rolled out over the coming weeks. The Premier's social media profile is in the spotlight. Peter Malinauskas has more than 267,000 followers across the major 4 platforms, Instagram, Facebook, X and TikTok. Opposition leader Vincent Tarzia has just 27,500, but the Premier has 3 employees looking after his online presence. Some traditionally male-dominated industries appear to be getting worse when it comes to employing women. Gabrielle Hodson has the story.
A report from the federal government's Workplace Gender Equality Agency has found blokey industries such as construction, mining, transport and manufacturing aren't changing in a hurry. In fact, some businesses and industries are falling even further behind. News Corp says poor workforce gender equality adds to our skills shortages and hampers productivity. The agency also found that companies with at least 40% female leadership tended to be more profitable, and having an equal number of men and women in leadership can boost a company's worth by $100 million.
Australia Post has announced the last sending dates to ensure parcels, letters and cards make it to their destination this Christmas. Within Australia, interstate parcels need to be in the mail by December 19 and December 22 for same-state delivery, while the international cut-offs start in November. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderol Garage Doors, adding strength, style and safety to your home. Gliderol.com.au.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. Hawthorn has just hours to secure a deal for Essendon captain Zach Merritt. Eddie Summerfield reports.
Essendon rejected an offer of pick 9, a future first round and second round picks, as well as young hawk Henry Huswaite for Zach Merritt. The Bombers' position not changing. Their 6-time best and fairest winner isn't for trade. Carlton is mulling over Sydney's offer for Charlie Curnow. The Swans offering pick 11, a 2026 first-round pick, Will Haywood and Ollie Florent in exchange for the forward and pick 22. Melbourne also has a busy day ahead, looking to secure deals with Gold Coast and the Giants for Christian Petrarca and Clayton Oliver. The Suns also dealing with the Western Bulldogs for Jamari Ugle-Hagan.
And the Crows still need to work on a trade to get Callum Archie from Brisbane. To cricket, South Australia will take on Queensland in a Sheffield Shield clash starting at Adelaide Oval this morning. SA hoping to win its first match of the season. Meantime, India has won its series 2-0 against the West Indies after winning the second test by 7 wickets in Delhi. And the Women's One-Day International World Cup match overnight between New Zealand and Sri Lanka had to be abandoned because of rain. Well, the Kieran Maher-trained Jimmy Star has drawn barrier 11 for Saturday's racing of the Everest at Randwick. Lady Shenandoah will jump from barrier 6, tempted from number 1. And the race favourite, Kiying Rising, has drawn barrier 7. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Morning there. Roads looking really good at the moment. Accident breaks home free, so that's a nice start, isn't it? Do have some sewer works at Parkside, Fullerton Road near Florence Strip. Having a quick look at the map. Yeah, no great delays there, so that's good. Burst Watermain, Coromandel Valley, Black Road near Main Road. A little busy at the moment for those works. Marroween Road and Anzac Highway, North Plympton. And cameras today, Lefevre Terrace, North Adelaide, and one a little bit later in the morning, Osmond Terrace, Norwood. Do you or someone you care for need complex mental health support? Sane can help. Choose from a range of free digital and telehealth support services. Visit sane.org today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, sunny 28 today, a shower or two and a possible storm tomorrow 28. Friday partly cloudy 21, then back to 28 on Saturday. Right now it's 8 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
They say one of life's biggest decisions is buying a home. But sometimes the hardest one is leaving it. At Anglicare SA, we're here to help you stay where you belong, at home. We offer support for everyday things like cleaning, gardening, cooking, but are also experts in care management, allied health, and clinical nursing. Because we believe there's no place like home. Let us help you stay where your heart is. Find out more at Anglicare SA. You are at home.
Just about everyone's been to the Kent Town Hotel.
That's right, and for good reason. At ground level, you've got the same amazing menu in the restaurant and the Kent Bar, plus seating for 150 outside. It's perfect any day of the week.
But there's something you might not know that they've got upstairs. It's called the Balcony Bar.
The Balcony Bar has everything the Kent Bar does, including the menu. It's also one of Adelaide's most popular venues for private events of up to 150 people, including afternoon wakes.
It's pretty good, really. You get your own bar, you've got an outside balcony area that holds 80 people, and fireplaces when it's cooler to keep everyone warm.
And it's completely separate from the 400-person function room on the same level, so you really do get the whole balcony bar to yourself.
So if you're looking for a great space for your next special event, check out the Balcony Bar at the Kent Town Hotel.
I'm Brett Buckley from Ray White Business Sales. We've been with 5AA now for nearly 5 years. We noticed that fairly early, probably within about 4 to 5 months, we started to see some good quality inquiries coming through that were directly from 5AA. From our experience, I would highly recommend advertising on radio firstly, but more importantly on 5AA. Not just because of the reach, not just because you can get to your target market more effectively, but purely because of the collaborative experience that you'll have in ensuring that your marketing dollar is best spent.
To get your message out there and grow your business, visit 5AA.com.au and hit the Advertise With Us link.
Streaming live via the 5AA Player app on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. This is 5AA, always Adelaide.
There's There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai.
If you're joining us for the first time on this Wednesday, the 15th of October, the sun now streaming through the window here over the hills at in Hindmarsh Square, and well, it might, because today it's going to be 28 degrees, sunny, essentially minimal amount of wind to speak of, no rain on the way. It's going to be magnificent and warm. It'll last like that until tomorrow, where we might get some storms and a little change. Then the weekend will be hot as well. It does feel like the changing of the season, but a beautiful Wednesday on the way. Coming up this hour on the program, David Koch is going to join us, the Port Adelaide chairman and Tourism SA chairman. We'll chat with Koshy before 8 o'clock today. Sad story about the Motorcycle Riders Association SA Toy Run. You could picture this event happens every year, has done for decades, with all the toys that get donated to charity, and the guys on the motorcycles and ladies will deliver them. Well, they've been hit by a couple of things, a couple of issues, one of which they saw coming, and that was the lack of volunteers. The other they didn't, and it meant they had to end pretty quickly. That was they have a venue clash with the Adelaide 500 at Victoria Park. So we're going to talk to them in about 15 minutes' time, and very shortly Hannah Ford's going to join us on the program from 7 News. She's been at Yunta with the police force and army personnel that are searching for Gus Lamont. New search zone, expanded search zone. You heard the operation that was announced yesterday by the police commissioner on our program. Hannah will have the very latest on that search very, very shortly.
The commissioner on the show yesterday revealing the story that's on the front page of the Tiser today, task force to find Gus. Grant Stevens told you, our listeners, that it's going to be an open-ended operation, and they're going to keep going as long as they need to get to the bottom of what happened to poor little Gus.
The trade period wraps up a little bit later today. Tom Wren gave his preview of the expectation of the deals will get done. Still a bit of work to do. The trade period, there's a lot of debate on the sports show about how long should it go for. I think our interest this morning has been how long it feels like it goes for, which is an eternity. And it got us thinking for the Lucky Dumpling Markets as part of the Oz Asia Festival that starts on Friday. What are the things that feel like they last forever, even though they don't? Dean in Craigmore's called in. Morning to you, Dean.
Good morning, boys. Mine is a military funeral.
A military
Right?
funeral?
A military funeral?
A military funeral goes forever. They go through the whole lot. Where this person that's passed has ever done anything, and it just takes forever. And I tell you what, you're up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Crikey, what a workout.
Thank you, Dean. I haven't been to a full laid-on military funeral
I've
before,
been to
so
a couple.
I can't
My
speak
uncle,
to that.
Brigadier Frederick Fitzner and Bill
Did they go through the whole service history?
Yeah. And no disrespect intended to Dean, so they bloody well should.
Yeah.
You'd be kind enough to lay your life on the line for your country. I reckon you deserve a reasonable send-off.
It warrants a mention, doesn't it? At
What's
the end?
tricky, the last post, there's a snippet of music right at the very end, and I can never pronounce it. It's a French word. Is it
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You think the song's over, and it's not.
Mm.
And if you've ever emceed one of these funerals, the last thing you want to do, and I know this because I did it.
What is that word? Reverie?
Reveal?
Yeah.
Can someone please put me out of my misery?
Someone will know.
But I have distinct memories of being told by Uncle Bill's son, Link, just wait for the very, very, very end. He said, you'll think it's finished, and it hasn't. And sure enough, I started talking about
Reverie. Thank you, Emily.
Reverie. Thank you, man.
All right, let's head to Yunta. That's where Hannah Ford has been staying, covering for 7 News the search for Gus Lamont, which, as we learnt with the police commissioner yesterday, there's a special operation, an expanded search zone, the assistance of the Army. What has it yielded yesterday and overnight? Well, Hannah joins us now. Good morning to you, Hannah.
Good morning.
Have there been any developments?
Unfortunately, sadly, there was nothing found. No sign of Gus yesterday during their search. It was a different searched, and obviously we were here 2 weeks ago when they were scouring the land, but now they're going so much further out. They're hard to actually even see. They're at least 4 k's from this homestead. They're picking up sort of patches of this land, going off in groups. Like I think there's about 4 or 5 groups of 20 ADF soldiers that are scouring specific patches of this property in all different directions. Before, they were right next to this homestead. We could see exactly what they were looking at. Now they're far out. It's a very different search, but they're making sure that every patch of this land is checked.
Have they given any more detailed explanations as to why they've headed out in further directions, Hannah? I mean, when we had the Commissioner in yesterday, he was saying it's all based on the advice that they get about the likely movements of a 4-year-old child and so forth. But it does seem like a vast distance for a child that young to have walked, potentially.
Yes, exactly. All we understand is this is coming from the advice of experts, specialists on survivability and medical and search coordinator specialists. Like we haven't been given specifics on what their advice has been. I'm assuming that they just need to check every possible spot that he might be. I mean, they're still just working on this theory that this 4-year-old has wandered off, and because it's gone on so long, I guess he could have got to anywhere in this property. We know that there are a couple of mine shafts. They are far out. We know that a lot of the wildlife theories have been discounted in terms of we don't understand there's dingoes on the property. We haven't seen many wedge-tailed eagles, maybe a couple. There are wild pigs on the property. But, with the likelihood of an eagle picking up a 4-year-old, we know is very, very unlikely. So I think what they're doing is making sure that they rule everything out in terms of what's happened to him and where he could be on this property. If they haven't checked it, then they haven't done everything they can.
Just looking at the pictures on our Facebook and YouTube live stream and crossing to you last night on 7 News, Hannah, it's the sort of outback Australia that you'd imagine aerial surveillance would do a remarkable job covering huge territories because there's not a lot of foliage. It's all low shrub and it's very dry and desolate. You said, I'm thinking of that and your description that you could barely see the people. They were so far out searching. How much of the area have they still got to search today? And is that going to be wrapped up today, do we think, or is it going to take a couple of days?
No, it sounds like this will go on until Friday. It's also very different weather conditions than it has been previously. It is a lot hotter. Tomorrow we're expecting to be in the high 30s, like 35. So it's going to take a lot longer to go over every piece. And the property, just looking at it, you cannot see the boundary, obviously. So it's those bits that are just so far out that they need to look at. But I have to say it was quite a sight yesterday. I've never seen anything like it. This convoy of just army truck after army truck after army truck. There's just so many soldiers here. They are throwing everything at it, and they are taking this very seriously. And it's a case that we haven't had before. It is so rare for a child to go missing from a station like this. I can't remember it ever happening. I've spoken to people in police. They can't that have been in high up in police for a long time. They can't remember it happening. It's just you just have to do what you can and take the advice you've got. But yeah, and that's what they're doing.
Yeah. As you said, Hannah, just looking at the bomb app, Yunta, 30 degrees today, no rain. Tomorrow, 36, no rain. Bit of a cool change Friday, no rain. Back up to 28 Saturday and 36 on Sunday. So pretty much about 10 degrees hotter than it is down here in town. Thanks so much again for your coverage, Hannah. Hannah Ford in Yunta for 7 News Adelaide. Thanks to Greg from Ashford. It's not Reverie, it's Rivali.
Rivali.
Reveille. I still feel like we're not quite nailing it.
Rivali. Greg's tried his best with us. Thank you, Greg. We appreciate your patience. Let's go to Two Worlds. Ange, what's something that feels like it lasts forever?
Oh, guys, a lead up to an election. I mean, seriously, like, if there's any, if you know how to say more important than paint drying, like, I mean, you could turn off your radio for 3 weeks and it's a circus, isn't it, really?
Yeah, Ange, I reckon particularly the election this year, it just felt so devoid of any really sort of attention or imagination-grabbing policies on either side. I mean, the Libs, meant to have economic management as their one would. All they did was talk about cheaper petrol for a little while. That's the only really memorable policy they had. And Albo waving his credit card around, the only card you need, Medicare, which is rubbish. Have any of our listeners gone to the GP with only their Medicare card and managed to get away with it?
Well, we know bulk billing rates are forever decreasing. It's harder and harder to find. And if someone does it, good luck becoming a new client.
Who would you take to the ACCC? You'd have to take Albo to the ACCC for false advertising, wouldn't you? Like if you went to your GP and said, look, the Prime Minister told me all I needed was my Medicare card. He did it repeatedly during the election campaign.
If the ACCC was responsible for falsehoods in political advertising, they'd have a budget bigger than the NDIS.
They'd have a budget bigger than the United Nations. They'd have 50,000 staff.
Hey, we've got a Care Alert Smart Dial to give away. We'll be doing it after the break. We're going to give the wheel a spin. If the number corresponds with your birth year, you simply need to be the first caller through, and it could be you going home with a Care Alert Smart Dialer. You could also use your home care package through My Aged Care or the NDIS to get a Care Alert for free. Visit carealert.com.au. Let's check traffic. Help Australians when it access critical medicines by visiting strongerpbs.com.au for more information.
Morning. Roads are looking really good today. Racks and breakdown free. And in fact, traffic quite light. Having a look around the maps, which is good. So you should have a nice run to work today if we're about to grab the keys. Parkside, urgent sewer work still count for Fullerton Road near Florence Street. Bruce Watermine at Coromandel Valley, Black Road near Main Road, but that's causing no dramas. A little bit busy at the moment, South Road, Edwardstown, and getting sluggish, Port of Expressway, Port Adelaide. Early morning cameras, Osmond Terrace, Norwood, and I did see one setting up. Where was that? Here it is, South Terrace in the Parklands. Harris Scarf's Friends Sale event is on tomorrow for one day only. Enjoy exclusive offers across bedding, kitchen, electrical and more. Conditions apply. Harris Scarf, great brands, great prices. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
5AA Mornings with Graham Goodings.
Well, an increasing number of Australian students apparently are quitting school, with only 2% attending classes regularly in some campuses.
Graham Goodings.
The lowest attendance levels are at remote schools.
I think a lot of it's aligned to young people getting their needs met. Things like complex mental health and family dysfunction and cost of living and staff shortages all combined.
Weekday mornings from 9 on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
A new battery rebate is here, and it's a game changer. The Cheaper Home Batteries program with NRG Solar makes smart storage more affordable than ever. Eligible homes and small businesses can save thousands, and households could slash power bills by up to 90% with a solar and battery combo. NRG Solar will guide you through and lock in the rebate before the masses catch on. Head to nrgsolar.com.au or call 1300 858 160. Don't wait. The smart move is to act now.
Your old hot water system can drive as much as 40% of your energy bill. Fortunately, you can upgrade to something that's 70% cheaper to run thanks to Right Price. They're the leaders in heat pumps and installation. Now's the time to upgrade and save money on a more efficient hot water system and take advantage of government incentives and free installation. Reduce your energy costs today with a heat pump from Right Price. Make the switch with Right Price Hot Water.
At Right Price, heating and cooling, you can get the price right at Right Price.
Losing a loved one is hard enough, and when you're left to manage their estate, it can feel overwhelming. But with Anderson Solicitors, you don't have to face it alone.
From probate and letters of administration to distributing assets and even handling family disputes, Anderson's Caring Wills and Estates team walk with you every step of the way. They'll help make sense of the process, ensuring you meet your legal obligations with confidence and care.
This is good, actually, and it's good that Leith's doing this because, you know, it can be an intractable process. If you or a loved one are navigating this, tune into a special 5AA interactive lounge tomorrow afternoon with our own Leith Forrest. The Andersons team will provide clear, practical advice and be taking your confidential questions off air.
Call the Interactive Lounge tomorrow on 8223 0055, and to find out more, visit andersons.com.au.
Summer's on the way. Beat the rush and organise your Walco pool blanket now. Keep your pool clean, warm and reduce evaporation. Uncover the savings with a Walco pool blanket. Visit walco.com.au.
Hi, Brett Ebert here for Mawson Lakes Mazda. There's a lot to like about Mawson Lakes Mazda. They'll take care of you with next day servicing, complimentary loan car, vacuum and wash. And your breakfast or lunch is on them. Your car gets the love too with their state-of-the-art service centre, brimming with top-trained mechanics. At Mawson Lakes Mazda, they'll look after your car and look after you. Mawson Lakes Mazda, just a short drive from the city.
Life is full of changes, and changes need space. At FIVEAA, we understand big transitions. That's why we offer modern, flexible and secure storage. Short or long term, no sign-up fees, no lock-in contracts. This week only, get up to 50% off 3-month storage. And with a free move-in van, we make your move simple. Get a quote this week and save up to 50% for 3 months. Find FIVEAA Self-Storage at St Mary's, Beverley and Seaford. Visit FIVEAA.com.au.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
25 minutes after 7, some sad news yesterday. The Motorcycle Riders Association of South Australia's annual toy run, which if you close your eyes, you'll be able to picture it. It gets great coverage each and every year, and so it deserves to. They gather gifts for children that are doing it tough. They're not going to be able to do it anymore because of a couple of reasons. There's not a suitable venue anymore due to a clash with the pack down of the Adelaide 500 at Victoria Park, but also, like so many organisations at the moment, volunteer-run organisations, they've run out of volunteers. So this 45-year-old tradition is going to cease. Kathy Lux is the secretary of the Motorcycle Riders Association of South Australia. Kathy, good morning to you.
Good morning.
So, Kathy, what are the logistics of it, and why? I mean, if there's a clash with the V8s, that's sort of one thing. But is there a plan B? Is there another venue where you could park 2,500 bikes?
At the moment, at this late stage, no, because we were counting on having the Victoria Park or Pakapakantsi venue. And the reason why that was used is because it had a beautiful parking surface on the track. So this is the first year it's actually clashed with the venue, and they just can't they can't get their equipment off the venue in time for us to put the bikes on.
Yeah, because even though
it's not really there, but yeah.
The amount of infrastructure they've got, they can't move it in time.
Oh no, they can't. And it's, as I said, it's not their fault. Unfortunately, it was just the way the venue happened with the car racing each year. And this year it was only 2 weeks away from our event.
So, Kathy, is it just a one-off, the cancellation, or are you thinking that?
No. This was going to be our final toy run, and that is the other situation that you talked about, which was volunteers.
Oh, no.
I'd say over the last 10 years, our volunteer base has just dwindled. And unfortunately, it's got to do a lot with the older people who we had as volunteers. A lot of them are getting too old to do it. Maybe they've got illnesses. A lot of them have died, unfortunately. So our volunteer base has dwindled down to the point where we've most probably got about 20 people doing a huge amount of work on 2 days of the toy run. And it's the set-up day on the day before plus the day after.
What would you say to people, Kathy, who have become, accustomed to setting toys aside or setting some money aside for these kids to make sure that they get Christmas presents? Is there a way that they can still help?
Oh, there most definitely is. The MRA website or the MRASA website has got a donation portal which goes directly to St Vincent de Paul or Vinnie's, who is the recipients of the toys. There are also other ways, and we're advocating that either have your own little run and donate to an emergency charity that does a Christmas appeal, or you can go out to the country areas. There's a lot of regional toy runs, but there are also a few toy runs that are in the city as well. And just access that information and go along. You don't have to have a big toy run just to donate to an emergency charity for kids.
Well, that's good to hear. At least that part of it can keep going. But all up though, it's a melancholy story, that one, because it was a wonderful charity event. Kathy Lux there, the secretary of the Motorcycle Riders Association of South Australia.
Gee, it's a plight that so many volunteer organisations are facing at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just a generation of volunteers that haven't been replaced. Jazzy in the southeast, good morning. Jazzy, what is something that feels like it lasts for way longer than it actually does?
Oh, my God, boys, a Tinder date.
Jazzy,
Honestly,
do tell.
Oh, my God. I reluctantly accepted and swiped right or left or whatever it is, and I had to listen to this guy talk about every time he got best and fairest from under 12 to A grade in his footy career. Oh, my God. I was just lucky it was a Chinese restaurant. I could just put the chopsticks in my eyes and it was more fun.
So how early in the conversation did he start talking about his illustrious football career, Jazzy?
Before we got the menu.
Oh, no. What, and then throughout the meal?
God. 2 hours of my life I will never get back. I couldn't wait to get home, ring a girlfriend and have a bottle of wine. Honestly, it was terrible. Absolutely shocking. He did not ask one thing about me. It was all about his illustrious country football career.
Can I just guess, Jazzy, did his career get to the point where sadly he was snuffed out because of a terrible knee injury?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, his career ended way before it should have, and he could have gone on to be anything in his eyes. Honestly,
Jazzy,
it was terrible.
That is a great call. You're in the running to win the food and beverage voucher, which you can or cannot use for a dinner date, depending on whether you're willing to go back to the mines on that one. Now,
that reminded me of that great episode of Love on the Spectrum where they were prepping this young bloke about his date. Amazing show for people living with autism and their relationship journeys. And this sort of life coach is saying to this kid, look, women really like it when you ask them about themselves. So just ask questions and listen and then ask another question. Cuts to the day. He's going, I've been collecting Star Wars figurines since 1986. I have them from all 7. And this woman's just sitting there going, my God. She's having a Jazzy moment.
Yeah. Hey, well, let's ask our listeners, when have you had a Jazzy moment? When have you been? What's the worst date you've ever been on? Give us a call, 8223 0000. What was your Jazzy moment? We love that call.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Sunny and 28 today with the 7:30 news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Chipped windscreen? RAA approved repairer Complete Windscreens repairs it from just $99. Find the big red koala.
The hunt for 4-year-old Gus will continue today after no evidence was located on day 1 of the resumed search. Over 100 police, ADF and SES members were involved yesterday on the remote property near Yunta. The search has moved outside the original area scoured earlier this month. Hannah Ford from 7 News has told David and Will Gus was last seen 2.5 weeks ago.
I'm assuming that they just need to check every possible spot that he might be. I mean, they're still just working on this theory that this 4-year-old has wandered off, and because it's gone on so long, I guess he could have got to anywhere in this property. We know that there are a couple of mine shafts. They are far out. A lot of the wildlife theories have been discounted.
A man has been arrested after calling emergency services more than 70 times in 24 hours. It will be alleged the Police Communications Centre took a call yesterday morning from a man who started swearing and abusing the call centre staff member. Senior Constable Matt Brown says the call was terminated, but the same man then rang back more than 70 times during the day and night.
About 5:20am today, patrols went to the man's Hectorville home and arrested him for used carriage service in a harassing or offensive way. He's been bailed to appear in the Adelaide Magistrates Court on the 3rd of December.
A man has been reported for drink driving after a crash at Andrews Farm. An unregistered Nissan hit a parked Mitsubishi late last night. The driver, a 42-year-old Blakeview man, wasn't injured, but allegedly blew .176 when breath tested. He's lost his licence for a year and will face court at a later date. Telcos are receiving a rising number of complaints about disruption to mobile services and customers falling into financial hardship. The industry ombudsman received almost 60,000 complaints in the last financial year, most about Telstra and Optus. Ombudsman Cynthia Gabert says reliable mobile service is vital.
If you can't rely on your mobile connection, it's not just frustrating, it can put brakes on your life. You know, your mobile is often your link to safety, support and everyday.
Agencies are working to furiously get aid into Gaza as a peace deal hangs in the balance. Israel is reportedly blocking a crucial aid corridor, demanding the bodies of all hostages be released by Hamas. The Red Cross has retrieved 4 bodies. UNICEF's Tess Ingram says the ceasefire is the best way to ensure help can get to those who need it.
I've just spent 3 days in Gaza City in the north of Gaza, traversing the immense destruction there and talking to families who tell me they really just need everything to survive right now. They don't have a home to go back into. It's rubble.
And the Adelaide Film Festival kicks off tonight. The pink carpet will be rolled out at the Capri for the Australian premiere of Jimper, the film with Olivia Colman, partly shot in Adelaide. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Colours, custom design, any house, any style. Gliderol Garage Doors. Gliderol.com.au.
It's over to Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. I know you're excited. The trade deadline's less than 12 hours away and Carlton and Sydney are closing in on a deal to send Charlie Curnow to the Swans. The Swans have offered pick 11, a 2026 first rounder, and Will Hayward as well as Ollie Florent for the forward, whilst requesting pick 22 in this year's draft from the Blues. Commentator Matthew Lloyd telling the Trade Off podcast a deal will be done before the deadline in 12 hours' time.
Yeah, whether that pick's taken out of it at the end of it, whether you don't get the pick back. But I think for what he does for Sydney, like Joel Amati, Hayden McLean, Logan, they're just not good enough. Whereas I think Curnow could kick 70 goals next year and be the biggest thing in Sydney.
Let's get to soccer, and England has secured its World Cup berth following a 5-0 thumping of Latvia, Harry Kane bagging a brace. Cristiano Ronaldo also scored twice, but his Portugal side could only manage a 2-2 draw against Hungary. Ireland had a 1-0 win over Armenia, while Italy took care of Israel 3-0. Well, defending World Series champions, the LA Dodgers have won Game 1 of their National League Championship Series after holding on for a thrilling 2-1 win against the Milwaukee Brewers. The Brewers had bases loaded at the bottom of the ninth inning, but couldn't convert.
Terang, a swing and a miss, and Blake Trinan closes the door. The Brewers strand the bases loaded. Dodgers win a thriller in Milwaukee by a final score of 2-1.
Audio there thanks to ESPN. Game 2 of that best-of-7 series will be played later this morning, our time. Meantime, the Seattle Mariners are just 2 games away from their first ever appearance in a World Series after going 2-0 up in their best-of-7 series against the Toronto Blue Jays, winning Game 2 10-3. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Morning there. Roads looking really good today. Wrecks and breakdown-free traffic. In fact, quite light, which is nice for a change. A couple of small things. Urgent sewer works at Fullerton. That's on Fullerton Road near Florence Street, but no great delays through there. Burst watermain getting fixed at Coromandel Valley. That's on Black Road near Main Road. And a little bit busy at the moment, South Road Glandorf for tram overpass works. Got a camera at the moment, South Terrace and the Parklands too. Get more for your 4x4 at Opposite Lock Adelaide's 3-day sale. Save on selected bull bars, roof racks and more. Only on October 16 to 18. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA weather, 28 for your Wednesday and sunny. A shower or two and a possible storm tomorrow, 28. Friday, partly cloudy, 21. Saturday, back to 28. Right now, it's 9 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Mawson Lakes Volkswagen has a problem. Too many Volkswagens, not enough space. Yep, they're overstocked, and that's very good news for you because every demo is priced to clear, like right now. Their solution? A huge demo clearance with hot prices. But that's not all. They're offering immediate delivery and finance so easy, you'll wonder why you didn't do this sooner. But don't wait. These demo Volkswagens won't sit around for long. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, Salisbury Highway, just a short drive from the city.
The Garrett Adelaide Jamboree is back at the Bend, a turbocharged drag racing and car show festival with free kids entertainment this Saturday at Dragway at the Bend. Tickets and event info at jamboree.com.au.
Now, home maintenance can be exhausting. You need to know a plumber, an electrician, a handyman and a renovator, or you could swap all these numbers for just one, Precise Plumbing and Electrical.
From plumbing, electrical work to pipe relining, bathroom renovations and handyman services, they're your one-stop solution with 25 years' worth of happy customers.
More than you can say about one plumber that's in the news at the moment. They'll service all areas of Adelaide and be there on time every time with an expert in your field of need. The great people at Precise Plumbing, they are ready to do top-notch work. In fact, they're so confident in their expertise, their workmanship comes with a lifetime warranty.
With free quotes and upfront fixed pricing, Precise Plumbing Electrical is a name you can trust and the only name you need to remember. Visit preciseservices.com.au.
Doing day-to-day things online has made our lives easier. Paying bills, shopping, banking. It all makes perfect sense to do online. But what doesn't make sense is doing your will online. It's fraught with potential problems and can leave a mess behind. From the simplest to the most complex wills and estate plans, Donlan Lawyers can answer your questions and help carry out your final wishes properly. For wills and estate planning, visit donlanlawyers.com, Hindmarsh Square, Adelaide, and Ocean Street, Victor Harbour.
What was that? Oh, I know you're out here somewhere. Where are you?
Searching for a better night's sleep? For over 30 years, Town & Country Mattresses and Beds have helped South Aussies sleep better with custom-made mattresses and electric beds. As an aged care and NDIS provider, they specialise in high-low and electric beds. Find your better night's sleep at Town & Country Mattresses and Beds, 68 Research Road, Paraka.
They say one of life's biggest decisions is buying a home. But sometimes the hardest one is leaving it. At Anglicare SA, we're here to help you stay where you belong. We offer support for everyday things like cleaning, gardening, cooking, but are also experts in care management, allied health and clinical nursing. Because we believe there is no place like home. And with the right support, there is no reason to leave it. Find out more at Anglicare SA. You are at home.
It's a tragic fact. Unused clothes and shoes can lie forgotten in cupboards and drawers for years. Cold, dark, alone. But on Saturday, November 1st, you can set your unused clothes free at South Australia's biggest textile recycling event. Simply pack up your clean, good quality garments and linens and drop them off at your nearest collection point between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. on Saturday, November 1st. To find your nearest collection point, visit greenindustries.sa.gov.au.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
19 to 8, we've been all morning taking entries on, inspired by the AFL's trade period, what are things that seem like they go on forever? And we've had some terrific calls. Someone is going to win themselves a food and beverage voucher to get along to the excellent Lucky Dumpling Market as part of the Ausasia Festival, Adelaide's springtime food entertainment hub, 17th of October to the 9th of November, luckydumplingmarket.com. We got a call from before the break from Jazzy, and Jazzy, the call was just sensational. Jazzy spoke about a Tinder date that she said felt like it went on forever as the bloke detailed his entire footballing career and every single B and F he'd won from the juniors right up to what sounds like an illustrious senior career over a 2.5-hour Chinese meal. So what we thought we'd do is we've got Kent Town hotel vouchers to give away. If you've got a Jazzy-esque story of a dating nightmare, your worst dating experience, your worst date, worst conversation, worst location, whatever happened, 8223 or you can text on the Police Home Care text line and we'll send you to the Kent Town Hotel. You can take a date or you can just go with friends, whatever you feel like will be safest.
A mate of mine took a militant vegetarian woman. He didn't know she was a militant vegetarian, but he arranged to meet her at Gaucho's. That didn't go very well.
Oh, no.
He had a good night. You always do at Gaucho's.
So she presumably had no idea what Gaucho's was?
No. But I think it's a bit of a reflection on my friend, though. Like, you think Gaucho's Argentinian Steakhouse, it's a bit of a guy thing to do, isn't it?
They had a salad on the menu, wouldn't they?
I think they have one salad.
Like a side of greens?
Yeah. Or, like the line from My Big Fat Greek Wedding, you're vegetarian, all right, you can have the chicken.
We got the wheel in the studio with us at the moment to spin and give away a Care Alert Smart Dialer. With My Aged Care changes starting November 1, act now to get your Care Alert Smart Dialer through your home care package. After November 1st, access might be harder, so get going now. Call Care Alert for details, or it might be your birth year that's spun up on the wheel. Give it a spin.
Big shout out to Mike and Darren Steele. We love Care Alert. 40 years they've been advertising with 5AA.
Wow.
Darren sent me a text the other day saying, hey, 10 years, whoopee-doo. Get back to me when you've done 40. Anyway, here we go.
Round and round she goes. The number that spins is 15. 15 is 1939. Can anyone think of anything big that happened in 1939?
I meant Mike Steele, not Darren Steele, actually. Sorry.
So
got my steels wrong.
Someone who's turning 86 or has turned 86 this year, 1939. Beyond the obvious events that started in 1939, The Wizard of Oz premiered in 1939.
There is a movie that's totally stood the test of time.
Awesome.
It's an amazing film, isn't it?
Well, I remember being, what would have been 40 years later, 45 years later as a kid, we had that on tape, on a beta tape that we'd watch at home all the time. I love The Wizard of Oz.
Were you scared by it when you were young?
Yeah, it was, but it was the right amount of scary. Like it was freaky.
It still is, isn't it? But watching it as an adult, you're like, whoa.
Could you imagine the wonder in 1939 of watching it transition from black and white to colour?
Oh.
Like that would have been one of the most spectacular moments in the history of cinema.
Yeah, it was. I wonder if any of our listeners saw it when they were little kids.
If you were born in 1939, we want you to give us a call, 8223 0000, and you could win your... there's no point getting to the end of the sentence because Mal in Edwardstown has already called in. Mal, congratulations to you. You've got the excellent Care Alert Smart Dialer coming your way. 1939. What's your earliest memory that you can remember? How far back can you go, Mal?
Well, I happened, and Gone with the Wind was premiered.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, my youngest memory, I can't remember now.
Do you remember anything of the war?
No, I do remember soldiers coming back.
Yeah.
I lived in Newcastle then. And I just remember the beach and all that. School, I don't have many memories of, believe it or not. And I hear blokes talking about it all the time. I'm not 86 yet, by the way.
You're turning 86 though.
December.
Oh, so you just snuck in. What was life like in the 50s? Were you still in Newcastle then, or did you move to Adelaide by that point in time?
No, I came here. Is that you, Will?
Yes.
I came here about the same time as your dad, I think, about 1974. I came here.
Okay. So what brought you here, Mal?
Work. I just came here for work for a couple of years, and that worked out well. I'm here 50-odd years later.
How did you find the move to Adelaide, Mel? A lot of people say Newcastle and Adelaide are quite similar places.
Well, this was the biggest place I've lived in. I've lived in Rockhampton and places like that, and I came here, and I just got around this town for the first 20 years at least. Well, everyone called it the 20-minute city, and I agreed with that. And I could be doing business up in Elizabeth, and I've got to meet my mates in the pub in town, and I'm there in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Pretty remarkable.
Yeah. But, I've always enjoyed Adelaide. I got had a little girl we got here, and, like things just work out differently than you organise.
Yeah, that's funny life like that, isn't it? Hey, well, Mal, great to meet you, mate. Great to chat, and congratulations to you.
Thanks very much.
Good on you, Mal.
I reckon Mal might have broken the record for how quickly someone's called through for the Care Alert Smart Dialer as well.
Quick as a flash. KG also born in 1939.
There you go. 1939 was a big year.
Certainly was.
13 to 8, we might take a quick break. We'll check traffic and return with David Koch in just a moment. Help Australians way to access critical medicines by visiting strongerpbs.com.au for more information.
Morning there at Tranmere burst water main on McGill Road near Glenburn Road. Parkside, urgent sewer works on Fullerton Road near Florence Streets. Coromandel Valley burst water main there, Black Road near Main Road, and we are getting busy Railway Terrace at Keswick. Slow going the Southern Expressway near Majors Road. People getting ready for the new on and off ramps at the moment, and got cameras to look out for this morning. Together Terrace, Kent Town, and Penfold Road at Roslyn Park. From Mountain of Football, Paramount Plus is the only place to see every game live of the Isuzu Ute A-League Men. Kicks off October 17 on Paramount Plus. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Deliver more with Toyota, the world's #1 forklift brand. Choose from a great range including pallet jacks, walkie stackers and reach forklifts, right up to their leading Toyota counterbalance forklifts. Legendary reliability and safety with cleaner, greener electric options. Toyota can tailor the right forklift solution for you. It's all part of the Toyota Forklift Advantage. For more, visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Toyota forklift. Hi, I'm Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop. Spring has traditionally been the peak time for selling your home. As the gardens bloom, so too do buyer numbers. But while demand is high, stock levels remain at historic lows. That means more competition for the homes on the market and a greater chance of achieving a premium result for your property. At Toop and Toop, our experience, local knowledge and negotiation expertise give you the edge when it matters most. Visit toop.com.au to find out more.
Are you tired of scrolling through countless websites trying to plan your next holiday? The local travel experts at Spark Travel are just a call away, ready to listen, guide and handcraft the perfect getaway for you.
Based right here in Adelaide on King William Street, Spark Travel's proudly local with plenty of experience helping South Aussies turn travel dreams into reality. Their personal approach makes every journey simple, comfortable and stress-free. From leisurely day trips to spectacular international getaways, they'll make sure your holiday starts the right way.
So reach out today for a chat and start planning your next getaway with Spark Travel, where every journey begins with a conversation. Call 8876 5121 or visit sparktravel.com.au.
Oh, geez, it's hot in here. Can someone pass the Morford air? Oh, that's better.
When the temperature is too hot or cold to bear, reach for the Morford Air, Adelaide's own homegrown family air conditioning company. Morford Air has kept South Australians perfectly comfortable for over 50 years. So when it's too hot or cold to bear, you can always reach for the Morford Air. Look for the bright blue building at 602 Marion Road or visit morfordair.com.au.
Morford Air. At Simplicity Funerals, we have been keeping funerals simple and easy for over 40 years. Visit simplicityfunerals.com.au or call us 24/7 to get started today. Simplicity Funerals. Easy, respectful, simple.
Some milk on our shelves travels further than you do on holiday. Not milk from Flurio Milk Company. Our milk is proudly homegrown, home bottled and delivered straight from the rolling paddocks of South Australia's Flurio Peninsula. Freshness isn't a buzzword for us. We live and breathe it 24 hours a day. When you buy from Flurio Milk Company, you're supporting our incredible farming families and doing SA proud. Look for Flurio Milk Company in your supermarket.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
And they could never tear us apart.
David Koch on 5AA Breakfast.
8 to 8, Koshy joins us, Port Adelaide Football Club chairman, and of course, the Market Economic Director, and his other hat is as the head of SA Tourism. And in fact, Koshy, we might start with you in that capacity, and good morning to you. You're on the way to the York Peninsula for a really important conference regarding the algal bloom.
Yeah, we're doing morning, guys. We're doing a 2-day board meeting, regional board meeting in York Peninsula. We'd sort of planned it for the Barossa, but changed it a couple of weeks ago just to go and talk to the travel industry operators on York Peninsula, what they need, what else they need from us. So It's got to be great because it's a big focus of South Australian Tourism Commission at the moment. Sort of 90% of the effort is to go and help this community, which is doing it tough. And interestingly, from a tourism point of view, it's all, predominantly South Australians who holiday there. So, it's a real call to arms to help fellow South Australians who, in this period of time through summer, for a lot of those operators, make all their money for the year. So don't ignore them. Sort of go out of your way to support them.
Because you think about it, Kosh, I know you guys, I can remember you had your big Kosh family reunion, I think, a couple of years ago down at Normanville. At this time of year, normally, mid-October, if you said, we're going to go and book a house in Stansbury for Christmas, people would go, well, good luck, because you won't get one now. You need to do it months out. From your intel at the moment, are there a lot of places, not just long stays, but hotels, caravan parks, are they still going, we're not even close to full?
Not even close to full. And that's a really great message to put out to people, because we're actually having morning tea in Stansbury today and talking to a lot of the operators in a couple of hours. And from all of the stats we're getting, they've had a lot of cancellations. And look, the algal bloom just moves from around the whole time, and it's only in specific parts of the coastline. So one day you might have to look on your app and say, okay, the bloom's on this beach, so we'll go to the one next door, which is only 5 minutes away. And if you're flexible in your plans, you still have a great holiday. The towns are still there. The caravan parks are there for the kids to have a great time. So if you've never been able to get in, as you say, because they're constantly booked a year out, this year, give it a go, because they need you.
The other thing too is the perception of the bloom is hanging around longer than the reality of the bloom. We spoke yesterday to a fisher on KI. Apparently KI is totally fine now.
Absolutely clear. Totally fine. That's what I was saying. It just moves all the time and is only in little patches. Yorke Peninsula and the northern part of it is where there's a bit of a focus at the moment. But, it's only 5-10% of the beaches. So it's one of the issues we have in the communication is to give people the facts and counter the misinformation that people are getting, that it's just across the entire coastline and every beach is enveloped by the bloom. It's just not the case. And it's such a beautiful part of the world.
Kosh, do you think the federal government have got it right, backflipping on the proposed changes to superannuation, the taxation of unrealised gains, and the originally not indexed tax rate that would kick in at $3 million?
Yeah, absolutely. Taxing unrealised gains is just so messy, really messy. What if you make an unrealised loss? How do you treat that going forward? It's just too complicated. I agree with the thresholds. I agree with the increased tax on 10 million earnings on 10 million and above. Superannuation was one of the greatest policies ever introduced in this country, compulsory super. It's our national savings scheme. It underpins our AAA credit rating, but it was meant to encourage people to have a comfortable retirement, not to be a tax dodge for the rich. And because tax concessions, understand, we all pay for those tax concessions. Every taxpayer has to contribute, in theory, if somebody else is not paying tax. So we make up for it. Now, if you're rich and you've got 3 million, there are 90,000 accounts with balances above 3 million, 8,000 above 10 million. Well, you can afford to pay your own tax. I'm not going to pay it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's much more sensible now. And being indexed is really important.
Oh, I think we just lost Koshi.
I think we lost Koshi.
You go, oh, gee, you've got a lot in your super and, you know, you're retired, you baby boomers got a lot of money. I keep saying, you will retire on 5 times more than I ever will because you're getting 12% super contribution for your entire working life.
Yeah.
Started out at 3% for me.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Absolutely. Good on you, Dave. We'll have a good trip over to Yorks and hopefully some good stuff comes out of it. And as you were saying, you know, if anyone wants somewhere good to stay, now's the year to get into the habit because a lot of places that have never been on the market will be now. David Koch, Port Adelaide Chairman and Compare the Market Economic Director.
We're going to take a break. 5AA News on the way. Breaking at 8. More on the algal bloom too with the new Environment Minister Lucy Hood joining us after 8:30. And also the Public Sector Association are rallying today with regard to the EBA that they're currently negotiating with the state government. What are they asking for? We'll get into all that after 8:30.
Hi, Daniel Talia here, General Manager of Home. That's HAUME. Put simply, we buy homes. If you've received a letter from us in your mailbox, don't throw it away. You may be throwing away a golden opportunity to sell your home at market value. With zero effort, advertising fees or commissions, you'll save thousands of dollars. If you've received a letter from us, it means we're serious about buying your home. For more info, visit home.com.au. That's HAUME.com.au.
If you need to fix your pipes, call Precise. Call Precise. If your toilet's blocking up, call Precise. Call Precise. If your lights aren't turning on, or your hot water is gone, or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Precise.
Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Call 1300 700 200. That's 1300 700 200. Precise Plumbing and Electrical. On time, on budget, on the job.
Or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Call Precise.
The most frustrating thing about having your car repaired after a collision can be the wait. Sometimes months. At Premier Panel Services, the wait is one thing you won't have to worry about. We've expanded our workshop and our highly skilled team. It means we're better equipped to deliver an outstanding outcome for you and your car. RAA and MTA approved, Premier Panel Services work with most insurance companies. So ask for Premier Panel Services and get back on the road sooner.
The latest local, national and international news for South Australia. This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Sunny and 28 today with the 8 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Make RAA-approved windscreen repairer, Complete Windscreens, your insurer repairer of choice. Visit completewindscreens.com.au.
Over 100 police, ADF and SES members failed to find any evidence on day one of the resumed search for Gus at a remote property south of Yunta. The hunt will continue today. Hannah Ford from 7 News has told David and Will they're concentrating on zones outside the original search area.
Now they're going so much further out. They're picking up sort of patches of this land, going off in groups. Like I think there's about 4 or 5 groups of 20 ADF soldiers that are scouring specific patches of this property.
The 4-year-old was last seen on Saturday the 27th of September. More than 70 calls to the police assistance line in just 24 hours has led to an arrest. The nuisance calls allegedly started yesterday morning when the Police Communications Centre took a call from a man who started swearing and abusing the call centre staff member. The call was terminated, but the same man then called back more than 70 times during the day and night. Senior Constable Matt Brown says a Hectorville man will face court in December.
Calls like this tie up the 131 444 number and also the 000 number for people that actually need it. So of course, you should only call those numbers, in an emergency or if you require police assistance.
Charlie Kirk has been awarded America's highest civilian honour, the Presidential Medal of Freedom, on what would have been his 32nd birthday. The ceremony at the White House attended by his widow. The conservative influencer was assassinated a little over a month ago. US President Donald Trump says despite his commitments in the Middle East, he wouldn't have missed it for the world.
I raced back halfway around the globe. I was going to call Erica and say, Erica, could you maybe move it to Friday? And I didn't have the courage to call. But you know why I didn't call? Because I heard today was Charlie's birthday. And I said, that was a definite.
Fortescue is sacking hundreds of workers across Australia and the UK. More from Jamelle Wells.
The iron ore miner has about 100 workers based in WA, but the number of job losses in Australia has not yet been confirmed. The company's dropping ambitions to become a major player in the manufacture of green energy machinery and equipment. The Andrew Forrest-led company has briefed employees at Fortescue Zero in the UK. The job cuts are expected to be the largest since last year, when Fortescue axed around 100 workers, most in its green energy division.
The Premier is being hailed a social media star. Peter Malinauskas has more than 267,000 followers on Instagram, Facebook, X and TikTok. That makes him more popular than Crows captain Jordan Dawson. Opposition leader Vincent Tarzia has just 27,500 followers across the major platforms. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderol Garage Doors, adding strength, style and safety to your home. Gliderol.com.au.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. Time is running out for Adelaide to get a deal done to secure Brisbane Premiership forward Callum Archie. Deals also need to be brokered for Charlie Curnow, Christian Petrarca, Clayton Oliver and Zach Merritt. The deadline coming at 7 o'clock tonight, our time. Well, he was a player Aussies love to hate, and former England quick Stuart Broad is doing nothing to shake that tag ahead of this summer's Ashes series. He's described the current Aussie squad as the worst he's seen in 15 years and believes England should win.
You wouldn't be outlandish in thinking, well, it's actually not an opinion, it's a fact. It's probably the worst Australian team since 2010, when England last won, and it's the best English team since 2010. So those things match up.
Meantime, Marnus Labuschagne and Usman Khawaja will be hoping for plenty of runs as the first Ashes test approaches in just over a month's time in Perth. The pair will line up in a Sheffield Shield clash against South Australia, which will be played here at Adelaide Oval. And there was one game in the ODI Women's World Cup overnight, but it had to be abandoned between Sri Lanka and New Zealand because of bad weather. England take on Pakistan tonight. Well, the Socceroos will be gunning for an 8th straight victory when they take on the USA in Colorado today in a friendly. Meantime, Harry Kane has scored twice to help England to a 5-0 thumping of Latvia in their World Cup qualifier this morning.
And again, it's sloppy, playing out from the back, and it's 2-0. That's the price you pay for defensive mistakes when you're up against players like Harry Kane.
Audio there thanks to Stan Sport. Now, that result means England has now officially qualified for the World Cup. And the red-hot favourite for the Everest, which is being raced at Randwick on Saturday, that is Kaching Rising, has drawn in the middle of the field with barrier 7. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Morning. Few things to look out for on the driving this morning at Tranmere, a burst water main, McGill Road near Glenburn Road. Urgent sewer work still getting fixed at Parkside, Fullerton Road near Florence Street, and burst water main at Coromandel Valley to look out for. Black Road near Main Road, but no great delays through there. Getting busy at the moment, Railway Terrace at Keswick. A little bit slow, Southern Expressway at Majors Road for the new on and off ramps. People still getting used to those. And got a camera Osmond Terrace at Norwood this morning. Get more for your 4x4 at opposite Lock Adelaide's 3-day sale. Save on selected bull bars, roof racks and more. Only on October 16 to 18. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, sunny today with a top at 28, a shower or two and a possible storm tomorrow, 28. Friday, partly cloudy, 21, and Saturday back to 28. Right now, it's 12 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Look at all this stock. All of it has to go. Go, go, go. At all TJM stores nationwide. It's TJM's national car park sale. Bull bars, rooftop tents, suspension kits, camping gear. Prices slashed. We're talking select canopies from just $1,999 and rock slider and bull bar bundles starting at $1,600. These deals are in-store only. And when they're gone, they're gone, gone, gone. Get down to your local TJM store nationwide, 17th and 18th of October.
TJM.
Take the lead. Hi, it's Callum Han here, Ambassador for Pick a Local Pick SA. If you're looking for quality fruit and veg from someone you can trust, go to those who know, your local fruit and veg store. They're the ones at the market before dawn, selecting the freshest produce from SA growers. They know what's in season, the best varieties for cooking, and have an eye for quality. Shop in stores displaying the red Pick a Local Pick SA sign and follow us on Facebook for inspiration, recipes, and more ways to enjoy South Australian grown.
Streaming live via the 5AA Player app on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. This is 5AA, always Adelaide.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
11.6 degrees outside of the city at the moment, heading for a sunny top of 28 degrees. It's going to be magnificent, albeit I have some concerns, David, for our studio. Which we have ominously sitting in the corner each and every morning at the moment, a temperature gauge, which at the moment is 22.6.
I think we're both medium well.
Yeah, well, the reason it's in here, I think, is to protect the equipment, not us, because we have no air conditioning. So we've managed to get through most days when it hasn't been warm. I'm not sure what it's going to be like broadcasting in one of those hot yoga studios.
Yeah. We should talk to Michael Keelan about maybe setting up some sort of hydroponic thing.
Like a grow house.
Yeah. I mean, for tomatoes.
Oh.
Yes. What are you suggesting?
I wasn't suggesting anything. I thought you were just doing about a side hustle.
Yeah.
Cost of living and all that.
You're too young to remember the 12 plant rule, Will.
You're the gardener. I don't know. I'm out of my depth.
Tomatoes. There are a lot of hydroponic stores in Adelaide, aren't there? Must be a lot of tomato enthusiasts.
A lot of keen gardeners,
right.
I think. Hey, speaking of the environment in a roundabout way, after 8:30 this morning, the new Environment Minister Lucy Hood's going to join us on the program. We're going to talk about the algal bloom, and also the Secretary of the PSA, Charlotte Watson, will be on the show to discuss their now fraught negotiations with the state government regarding an EBA that sounds like they are a long way apart. There'll be a rally a little bit later today, and we'll get the details from her very, very shortly. But first, it's time for Breaking at 8.
Well, it's apt that we've got the Environment Minister coming in because I think she's going to be interested in this next story. It involves the Middleton Surf School, which for years has been well known as an instruction centre for people who are learning to surf. And in the midst of an algal bloom, the use of technology is going to be paramount. It's been part of the summer plan where we had the Premier in the other day talking about how they're partnering up with the Surf Lifesaving Association to give people up-to-date real-time advice. Part of that involves the use of the Surf Life Saving app. Well, how's this? Yesterday, the Middleton Surf School got a call out of the blue saying that a school group had decided to cancel a lesson that was based on the advice from the Surf Life Saving app, which as of yesterday said that there was foam at Middleton, there was discoloured water at Middleton. It sounds like sage advice. The problem was it was incorrect. There was no issue with the water. So Luke Talbot-Mail, who we have on the line now, he's the instructor there and the operator of the Middleton Surf School. He was all set to have a full day where the school was going to be, paying the going rate to turn up and surf. And at the last minute, they cancelled on the basis of what the app was telling them. Luke, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us. This is pretty ominous, isn't it? Because your business is sort of, at the mercy of technology, which has to be reliable.
Yeah, that's right. It's a bit of a concern. The information's great, but the information has to be correct. And just to elaborate further, this was actually a booking for next week, not for this week.
Oh, for next week?
Based on advice, based on the advice on the app from yesterday. So this is a struggle that we're going to, a challenge that we'll face over the coming 6 months.
So when we talk, Luke, about the actual conditions of the water yesterday, there's some photographs and videos that I've seen. In your view, the water yesterday looked, contrary to what the app was saying, the water actually looks pretty good, doesn't it?
Yeah, look, I would say that yesterday the water looked as clean as it ever gets at Middleton. There's a little bit of foam around, but that's normal after we have a really large swell and a lot of wind. So, it definitely wasn't what I'd call the Corenia foam, which is that brown, yucky stuff. But the water was clean. It was beautiful down the beach yesterday.
So just in terms of like a school group, I'd imagine, I'm not asking you to reveal how much money you're going to make from it, but there'd be a reasonably large number of kids who were meant to be coming along, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And, this will mean that, maybe we had 4 or 5 instructors on next week who won't get work potentially. So that's the I guess the roll-on effect of the accuracy of that information. So yeah, it's a real worry.
More broadly too, Luke, are you finding that your business is struggling with this sort of generalised paranoia that maybe just while all of this is happening, we shouldn't be doing things like surfing anyway?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, as we said, Middleton in particular has been really nice for about 3 months. We also operate at Moana, and then that's not as nice at the moment. But yeah, the hype around the algae and, all of South Australia's got the algae and disgusting is causing a significant impact on our operation.
Yeah. We've actually got your local member in the studio with us, Luke, the Shadow Minister for Water and the Environment, David Basham. Stay on the line, Luke. But to you, David, what's your take on this? I mean, obviously technology's great if it's reliable.
It is, and the sad thing is, if you actually go to the dashboard where they actually report the counts of the algal bloom, for all the last tests from Victor Harbour through to the Murray Mouth, are zero for Carunia species. So there is no bloom active in that region at the moment. It hasn't been for a couple of months. And to have a report coming out, we do have the River Murray that comes out at Goolwa, and it discharges fresh water. Fresh water mixes with the salt water, and it often looks a bit brown. So we're always going to have discoloured water there. The Premier in Parliament yesterday said discoloured water and foam are a direct indicator of brevitoxin being present. Well, sadly, it's not, because the test results, the science says it's not. And sadly, this app needs to actually also have put on there those results so people can actually assess that yes, there may be discoloured water, but it's not actually a problem.
Well, the other thing too, it seems to be mixed messages from the government, because on the one hand, we get told, this thing moves around. It moves around everywhere. So, ergo, book your accommodation, go fishing for the weekend, go and stay at the Edithburgh Caravan Park. It might or might not even be there. But if it does move around that much, so if they're telling us that it moves around, what good is it relying on an app that's a snapshot in time when, in Luke's case, a week from now, based on information that appears to be wrong yesterday, he's lost all his business.
I know, totally disappointing. And so this isn't a great message going out to the community with this app. We need to actually make sure people do actually have the confidence to go when it is safe. And, as I said, that area from Victor Harbour through to the Coorong itself, no problem, hasn't been a problem for months. People should be flocking there. There are different aspects here on the coast of the metropolitan area. Counts are quite high, but down there it's moved away. It might come back, who knows? But we need to rely on the science as well as knowing some of the things to look at.
So I'm looking at the Surf Lifesaving app this morning, and they've cleaned the beach and taken photos at Middleton as of 7:12 a.m. today. The report says the beach has been cleaned. There's no abnormal foam, but there is discoloured water. You're saying that is always going to be it's always going to say discoloured water in this area.
It is. The Murray flows out, and the fresh water mixes with the salt water, and it's discoloured. Always has been, always will.
Yeah. Hey, Luke, thank you for joining us. Luke Talbot Mail from the Middleton Surf School. Book a lesson now, folks. It sounds like they've got a few trainers standing by, twiddling their thumbs. Thanks for joining us, mate. And to you, David Basham, the Shadow Environment Minister, thanks for coming in this morning.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you.
It is of dubious utility then, certainly in that part of South Australia. The other thing is we can't account for people's misreading of the data that is provided as well. Like my reading of this is it's meant to be, this is what it looks like at this time at this morning. I don't think it was ever intended for people to say, well, in a week's time, I'm going to use today's information to make a determination about what it's going to be in a week's time. For example, you can look at Glenelg this morning. So Glenelg, they haven't yet, let me just refresh it because they do it around now. The beach patrols happen around 8 o'clock. They haven't yet cleaned the beach. Cleaning the beach, by the way, if you read in the explanation in the app, is the gruesome business of clearing dead fish off our beach, which now happens as a matter of course in South Australia. Abnormal foam, yes. Discoloured water, yes, at Glenelg. Okay, so that's Glenelg. You go down to Henley. They haven't cleaned the beach either, but there's no foam. but there is discoloured water at Henley this morning. At West Beach...
What time do they check it, though?
At West Beach, in between, there's discoloured water and no foam, but they have cleaned the beach. They've done it at 7:20am this morning. So usually it says on the app by 8 o'clock they try and get their reports in. So West Beach, their surf lifesavers have already done it at 7:20 this morning.
So it's based on an examination of the water this morning.
Yes. Yep, right. That's right. So, for example, if I go back to Glenelg, at 7:34am they put up a picture, and if you go to West Beach, their picture went up at 7:20am. So they're all up early making assessments about it. But as David said, it's kind of useless in some instances.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it shouldn't be used to make your plans for, the coming summer.
Speaking of warmth, we have Michael Keelan on the line now. Michael Keelan, of course, 5AA Weekend Breakfast and Gardening Show host.
Hang on. We're not going to get arrested here, are we?
No. Well, you can grow all sorts of legal things inside a glass house.
A radio studio.
Might make the next face-to-face chat near with the police commissioner more interesting. First live on-air arrests. But, Michael, thanks for joining us, mate. What's the sort of ideal temperature for a greenhouse? Have we reached that in here yet? I'm looking at the thermometer in the corner. We're sitting on 22.8. Are they good conditions for growing tomatoes?
Absolutely perfect. I think the weekend temperature got up to about 25, so the tomato plants are going. And, Dave, I was going to dust off one of the old books on growing tomatoes. I didn't lend it to you, did I?
I reckon. I think you might have lent me one.
Uh-oh.
I've got one from the Diggers Club. I've got a Diggers Club book specifically about tomatoes, Michael. But it's just where we're positioned, though. Are we in the right position? Like if Will and I were, and you broadcasting in here too, if we were tomatoes, sort of facing the hills, is that a good sort of orientation for a tomato plantation?
Yeah, look, it's a good start. We'd have to get the lighting correct, though. I don't think those red lights, the plants need red and blue, so we'd have to get some blue lights in the studio. Temperature's right. I think the amount of natural light coming in would we'd be able to grow. I would say some of the bushier type of tomatoes, maybe Romas, Tommy Toe, those sort of things.
Okay.
Sorry, I looked for the book. I'm sure I must have lent you the book on growing tomatoes indoors. I don't know. I can't find it anywhere.
I'll have a look at my gardening shelf when I get home, mate, and ping you a text later on.
Okay.
Good on you, Mike. Thanks, mate.
I think Michael's less calling in to give advice in the end than he was trying to get his book back.
It did have that feeling. We should buy a plant and put it in the corner over there and see how it goes.
Yeah, I think we should make the best of the tropical conditions we get treated to every morning. Exactly. Let's check traffic. Help Australians waiting to access critical medicines by visiting strongerpbs.com.au for more information.
A couple of bingles just popped up this morning to look out for on the drive. You find one at Ranella, Southern Expressway near Palatinga Road. Got another one at Park Home, Oaklands Road near Marion Road. Urgent sewer works getting sorted at Parkside, Fullerton Road near Florence. No great delays there. Do have a few delays, Brighton Road, Glenelg East, and we are getting busy. The parade at Norwood. Cameras this morning, Osmond Terrace, Norwood, and got one right now, South Terrace in the Park Lanes. Glenelg BMW Motorrad is proud to be your new BMW Motorrad dealership in South Australia. Visit the friendly team at 141 Brighton Road. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Hi, I'm Lynn Andrews. The Lynn Andrews team have seen a lot of change in real estate over the past 50 years, but one thing remains unchanged: our passion to help people invest in their future. To build strong property portfolios in either the residential or the commercial sectors. Our commitment to property investment over the years means we have a wealth of knowledge to share. We're here to help you. Visit lynnandrews.com.au.
The most frustrating thing about having your car repaired after a collision can be the wait. Sometimes months. At FIVEAA Panel Services, the wait is one thing you won't have to worry about. We've expanded our workshop and our highly skilled team. It means we're better equipped to deliver an outstanding outcome for you and your car. RAA and MTA approved, FIVEAA Panel Services work with most insurance companies. So ask for FIVEAA Panel Services and get back on the road sooner.
You've built a life in your street, the neighbours know your name, the barista knows your order, but lately you come into the conclusion that your home just isn't quite working for you. Well, not the way it could be anyway. If you have a large block, get in touch with Metro Homes.
Metro specialise in knockdown and rebuild projects, and they're helping people all over Adelaide set themselves up for a solid future.
They can replace your existing house with 2 brand new homes on the same block, one for you, designed to suit how you live now, and the other as an investment property right next door. It's a smart way to stay put while setting yourself up for the future.
Metro takes care of everything too, the design, the approvals, the build, the lot. Build your future where you really feel at home. Go Metro. Visit metrohomesa.com.au.
Separation, parenting disputes, property division. Family law is emotional and complex, but you don't have to face it alone. I'm Ben Thilthorpe from BTD Lawyers, and we're here to stand with you. With professional expertise, personal service and proven results, we'll guide you through every step with care, clarity and confidence. Book your obligation-free consultation today. Barbara Thilthorpe Daniel Lawyers, specialising in family law. Visit btdlawyers.au.
Simplicity Funerals make funeral planning the way it should be. Simple. With our easy and straightforward packages, it has never been simpler to organise a respectful funeral. Visit simplicityfunerals.com.au or call us 24/7 to get started today.
When it comes to reducing pain and rebuilding strength, Kiesa leaves nothing to chance. Our university-qualified health professionals don't just treat problem areas. They design personalised training programs using Swiss-engineered machines unique to Kiesa. These machines safely isolate the affected area, test your strength and help rebuild your muscles for a stronger, more active and healthier life. Kiesa, building strength with precision in Norwood.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
24 minutes after, right, we had some requests through. What is the app that has the earliest reporting of what's happening on suburban and regional beaches? It's the Surf Lifesaving app. It's Beach Safe. It's the same app that you would download for that information. Now it contains an algal bloom beach report for each beach in your area, and indeed you can search for any beach in South Australia. So it's simply the Beach Safe app, or you search for Surf Lifesaving, and you'll see the little South Australian symbol. Big story earlier this week in the Northern Territory, which has become the first jurisdiction in Australia to ban transgender women from being sent to women's prisons. It follows a revelation last week that a woman was allegedly sexually assaulted after sharing a cell at Port Augusta Prison with a transgender prisoner in 2019. Then more recently, a 25-year-old father who sexually abused his 5-year-old daughter was placed in a Victorian female correction centre after he identified as a woman. South Australian Senator Leah Blythe joins us on 5AA Breakfast. Senator, good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
Thanks for joining us, Senator Blythe. This should be a no-brainer, shouldn't it? I mean, on what planet does a person who until recently was a bloke end up saying, and they're in jail, like they are by definition deprived of their liberties. How on earth do we end up putting female prisoners in danger, as has now happened in 2 cases, by maintaining this bizarre policy?
And I think that's exactly right. We've got an issue with safety in women's prisons across the country, and it's been extremely irresponsible of state governments to have known sex offenders in cells with females. And I think, this is a clash of rights, and women's rights should not come second in this case. So common sense has to prevail here, and biological reality has to be recognised in our law and in risk assessment.
Do you think there's a sort of weird reluctance on the part of some in politics, be it out of, I don't know, some sort of progressive politeness or not wanting to be seen to weigh into the culture wars? They seem to regard things like this actual attack on a female prisoner as being invisible in a policy sense. They don't even want to engage on it. Like Malley was asked about it the other day and he said, ask the Correctional Services Minister.
And that is crazy. We need a Premier here who is going to be strong on safety. We need strong policy that's going to keep our community safe, and particularly women in the community. So, I'm calling on our Premier to follow suit with Leah FIVEAA in the Northern Territory, who has shown courage that no other leader across the country has shown, where she's happy to weigh in on this, which is an incredible step, and I applaud her for that. But women do not come second to ideology, and I would say that to our Premier in South Australia. This is not an opt-in conversation. So we need strong policy. We need a courageous Premier who is going to look past ideology, look at biological reality, and start recognising that in law and protect women. Women are entitled to be safe in their own space for their own safety.
Is there a broader problem here, though? Because my understanding, it was actually this ex-man, now woman prisoner, was actually housed in a female jail during the Marshall Liberal government. So is there a broader problem here that maybe, and it could be because of the anti-discrimination laws, that once someone puts up their hand, even without necessarily going fully down the physical path of changing gender and doing all the hormonal stuff and what have you, but maybe if they almost identify as a different gender, and they're probably doing it for all sorts of tactical reasons, because maybe female prisons are more pleasant to stay in than male prisons. But is there perhaps a sense that government's hands are tied with this?
And I refute that argument that governments are using, because safety is within the legislation that for safety reasons you are able to discriminate, if that makes sense. So I think that is just convenient for policymakers to be able to stand behind that. But safety is an aspect, and that's how we can have women's-only sports. And you will see that some of those sporting codes and associations around the country are now starting to exclude trans men from women's sporting competitions for safety reasons. And that's what we're asking all governments across the country to do, is men should be excluded from female prisons for female inmate safety.
Well, I've got to say on this issue, I couldn't agree with you more. I just think it just makes you shake your head in disbelief that it's even happening. Leah Blythe, Liberal Senator for South Australia. The state government should fix this up. I think what the NT Chief Minister has done is 100% right. And it's the sort of thing you actually talk to, like, people who even regard themselves as progressive over a beer, and you say this isn't some made-up thing from Sky After Dark. This is actually really happening right now in South Australia. A woman has been attacked by someone who until recently was a bloke, who's now going, oh, no, I'm a woman, I want to go to a women's jail. And the government goes, oh, okay, fair enough, that's your right.
Yeah, it's outrageous.
Like, even progressive people go, yeah. Like, over a beer, they go, Well, they've got to start going, actually, no, this is crap. This should not be happening in the same way that some person who suddenly decides they're a woman can't jump into a boxing ring and start punching women in the head. Like, it's completely absurd and it needs to be stopped.
Living with diabetes? Ditch finger pricks with Freestyle Libre, the wearable sensor that monitors glucose levels straight to your phone. Trial it now for only $15 at freestylelibre.com.au. T's and C's apply. Follow directions for use.
Adelaide's local, trusted and truly connected talkback radio station. 5AA. Always Adelaide.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Sunny and 28 today with the 8:30 news. I'm Mel Usher.
For the best price, quality and same-day service, trust Complete Windscreens. RAA approved, Main North Road, Prospect.
The hunt for 4-year-old Gus is continuing today. Over 100 police, ADF and SES members are involved on a remote property near Yunta. The search has moved outside the original area scoured earlier this month. Gus was last seen 2.5 weeks ago. A ute has been torched at two wells. Emergency crews were called to Port Wakefield Highway just after 2 this morning. Senior Constable Matt Brown has told David and Will fire crews quickly extinguished the blaze, which destroyed the interior of the vehicle.
The Toyota ute had been stolen from a Waterloo Corner property on Tuesday the 14th of October. Anyone who saw or heard any suspicious activity in the area is asked to call Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000.
A key Liberal is urging the party to stop its public therapy session and get back to holding the Albanese government to account. Senator James Paterson argues the party needs to create a compelling narrative in the lead-up to the next federal election in 2028. He's urged his colleagues not to lurch into populist politics, but also not give up on so-called culture wars. Opposition leader Susan Lee says Senator Paterson is making good points.
It's normal that people express their views, and as I said, it's a strong contribution. It's an important contribution, and it reminds people of our Liberal values that are all about hard work, reward for effort, aspiration and getting ahead.
Disruptions to mobile phone services and rising financial stress are the main reasons customers are complaining to the Telecommunications Industry Ombudsman. The body received almost 60,000 complaints in the last financial year, most grievances about Optus and Telstra. Ombudsman Cynthia Gabert says some problems persist.
The steadying off in the complaints though this year says to me that no one can rest on their laurels. You know, there is still work to be done. We do still see some pretty stubborn issues, and the opportunity there is for telcos to get their customers' complaints resolved without the customers needing to come to us at all.
Slain influencer Charlie Kirk has been awarded America's highest civilian honour, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. The honour bestowed by the President at the White House on what would have been his 32nd birthday. His widow, Erica, accepting the medal on Charlie's behalf.
Today we're gathered not only to celebrate Charlie's birthday, but to honour a truth that he gave his entire life to defend, and that's freedom. The very existence of the Presidential Medal of Freedom reminds us that the national interest of the United States has always been freedom.
Australia has made the top 10 most powerful passports of 2025 list. We're in at number 7. Singapore is number 1, followed by South Korea and Japan. The US has dropped out of the top 10 for the first time. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Colours, custom design, any house, any style. Gliderol Garage Doors. Gliderol.com.au.
It's over to Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. The haggling around two-time Brisbane Premiership player Callum Archie is expected to go down to the wire tonight. The Lions are chasing Adelaide's first-round pick in the draft in exchange for the 28-year-old, but the Crows instead are only prepared to offer a future second-round pick. Let's get to cricket in South Australia. We'll be back in Sheffield Shield action later this morning against Queensland as they look to register their first win for the season. In other matches, Victoria will host New South Wales while Tasmania will tackle WA. Well, champion trainer David Hayes is doubling down on his confidence of Kaying rising following the Everest barrier draw. The Hong Kong sprinter will jump from barrier 7 at Randwick on Saturday. And Hayes has told Sky's Thoroughbred Central he couldn't have picked it any better.
Happy. I just thought anywhere, not in the complete outside, of course, it's always more difficult out there. I think Zach can choose whether it goes right forward or follows what could be the frantic pace.
Across the other front runners, Jolly Star drew barrier 5. Jimmy Star will come out from barrier 11. Briasa from 10 and Lady Shenandoah draws barrier 6. To soccer, and even at age 40, Cristiano Ronaldo is showing no signs of slowing down, scoring twice to help Portugal to a 2-2 draw against Hungary.
Nuno Mendes, Ronaldo again. Incredible. The goals just keep coming for Cristiano Ronaldo.
He's a machine. Audio there thanks to Stan Sport. Now, a win would have secured a World Cup berth for Portugal, but the result still means they're 5 points clear with 2 games to play in their group, so in the box seat. Elsewhere, England is safely through after a 5-0 thumping of Latvia. Spain smashed Bulgaria 4-0, while Italy kept its hopes of finishing top of its group alive with a clinical 3-0 win over Israel. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Morning there. Crashes galore this morning. Got a heap of power too. One at Modbury to look out for on the drive-in. Montague Road near North East Road. Another at Ranella, Southern Expressway near Palantinga Road. Another smash at Parkholm, Oaklands Road near Marion Road. But good news, that one is causing no great delays. Urgent sewer works a little bit sluggish at Parkside, Fullerton Road near Florence Street. And got a camera right now Le Fever Terrace in North Adelaide. Got FBOS? Got to have fees, right? Nope, not happening. Not with SmartPay Zero Cost FBOS. Visit smartpay.com.au. T's and C's and minimum turnover apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, sunny and 28 today. A shower or two and a possible storm tomorrow, 28. Friday, partly cloudy, 21. Then back to 28 on Saturday. Right now, it's 14 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
What's on your bucket list? Cruising around the world? Doing a hot lap around Bathurst? Learning how to play drums? Before you plan a bucket list, plan your will with Donlan Lawyers. A will, power of attorney and advanced care directive speak for you when you can't. It means you and your loved ones will be taken care of. Visit donlanlawyers.com. Put it on your bucket list. Hindmarsh Square, Adelaide and Ocean Street, Victor Harbour.
Look at all this stock. All of it has to go. Go, go, go. At all TJM stores nationwide. It's TJM's national car park sale. Bull bars, rooftop tents, suspension kits, camping gear. Prices slashed. We're talking select canopies from just $1,999 and rock slider and bull bar bundles starting at $1,600. These deals are in-store only. And when they're gone, they're gone, gone, gone. Get down to your local TJM store nationwide, 17th and 18th of October.
TJM.
Take the lead. Now, Samtest Seafoods, we were talking about them yesterday. Best place to get your high-quality seafood in South Australia. Open 7 days. Their range and quality rival the Sydney fish markets, and they even have a buyer on the auction floor there over in Sydney, sourcing fresh seafood for Adelaide every day.
And with the weather like it's going to be today and over the course of the rest of the week, it's the perfect time to stock up early for summer and grab large South Australian king prawns, just $21.99 a kilo. Before the Christmas rush. That's incredible value.
And we've heard from Peter Malinauskas, we've heard from SARDI Executive Director Professor Mike Steer. They're encouraging everybody to back SA seafood. If it's in the shelf, it's fine to eat. It's been tested, it's world class, it's vital to our state's economy, and there is no better place to get it than Samtest Seafoods.
From Smoky Bay oysters open fresh daily to garfish, King George whiting, king prawns and blue swimmer crabs, all from only pristine SA waters.
And don't forget the famous 4 kilos for $60 mix and match deal. Samtest Seafoods, 201 Richmond Road. Richmond, I'll see you there. When you want the best, it's always Samtest.
Introducing the Caliente by Beechwood Homes. A multi-level masterpiece of design, innovation and style. Inspired by the effortless glamour of Palm Springs in California, it's bathed in natural light through clever architectural design. At its heart, a stunning 6-metre island bench anchors a kitchen that's as beautiful as it is functional. The Caliente is open for viewing at 10 Simon Crescent, Craigburn Farm, Saturdays and Sundays 1 to 4:30pm. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home.
Australians deserve a stronger pharmaceutical benefits scheme, one that is faster, fairer and fit for the future. Did you know it has been 30 years since the PBS was reviewed? In that time, science and medicines have made significant advancements, but our process for getting Australians access to these advancements is letting us down. If you would like to do your part to help all Australians waiting to access critical medicines, simply visit strongerpbs.com.au today.
I'm high! Mate.
The Excelsior Hotel has always felt like home. And for seniors, it's always been great value with 20% discount on selected bistro meals. Yep, 20% off. Feeding the whole family? Bring them all Saturday or Sunday for live acoustic music from 5pm. And kids eat free. Some conditions apply. The Excelsior Hotel feels like home, but better. You just know it's a Barreau Hotel.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
20 to 9, received a text on the Police Home Care text line a short time ago from Dion, alerting our listeners to the fact that the trains weren't running in his neck of the woods. We've made some inquiries to the Transport Department and received some information. No train services are running beyond Glanville in both directions due to a car hitting the boom gates at Largs Station. It happened at about 7 a.m. this morning. The expectation is, now we received this email about 8:30. The belief was that the trains would be back up and running within 30 minutes. So hopefully by 9 o'clock, that will be back to normal. We will have an update for you here on 5AA, though, as soon as those services are back up and running. So stay listening. But for now, services are not running in both directions beyond Glanville because a car hit the boom gates at Largs Station.
Well, obviously, the algal bloom remains the biggest challenge facing South Australia right now. It's been going for months, and on a warm day like today, when people are thinking about maybe heading down to the beach, they have a lot of questions. To answer them, we're joined in the studio very kindly now by the Environment Minister, Lucy Hood. Minister, good morning, and thanks so much for coming in.
Good morning, and congrats again, guys, on 10 years.
10 years and 3 days. Thank you. Can I start by asking, off the back of the breaking at 8 that we did, obviously, technology is going to be pivotal in how this is managed. A big part of the summer plan is the partnership that you've got with Surf Life Saving. But we had that story at 8 o'clock about the app, which raised two questions. One is people basing future behaviour on the basis of present-day information, which probably goes to the challenge of paranoia. But more importantly, though, if we're going to use an app, the information on the app has to be right, clearly, because Luke from the surf school was saying yesterday the app was saying basically don't go near the water, whereas he's standing at the water going, there's nothing wrong with the water. So to the second part of that first, how reliable is this technology?
That's right. So herein lies the challenge. Like, we do know that the harmful algal bloom is pretty dynamic. So there might be a beach that does have foam and discoloration in the morning but could be clear by the afternoon. But this partnership in the Beach Safe app, so it's an existing app that we've upgraded to include these three pieces of information. And the idea is that we're providing a guide for people to be able to base their decisions. So before you decide to pack all the kids in the car with the beach toys and the towels and the sunscreen and the goggles, you can go on the app and get a bit of a guide or an assessment around what that beach is looking like. Now, in the situation that you were talking about at breaking at 8, I think a clear fact there was that they were basing a decision in a week's time based on an app which is providing an assessment of potentially that morning or afternoon. And so it's really clear for your listeners, for people using the Beach Safe app, that is just a visual assessment taken that morning or that afternoon. And so the app will provide three pieces of information. Is the water discoloured? Is there abnormal foam? And then also when the beach was cleaned. And then it will provide a photograph. And so it's basically there as a guide to be able to assess where you might go that day. But certainly not there as a guide in which to base your decision in a week or 2 weeks, or maybe where you're planning your summer holiday. It is there as a guide for that particular day that you might be planning to go to the beach.
So let's do this in real time then. So I've got the app open. Glenelg Beach this morning has some abnormal foam. Yes, it says discoloured water. It says yes. Below that, there's a message that says SA beaches are open and can be enjoyed, but it's best to avoid foamy or discoloured water. So this morning, as the Environment Minister, would you be saying don't swim at Glenelg Beach?
So we're saying that is a guide that you can say, for example, if there is a lot of abnormal foam, if there's discoloured water, we're encouraging people to perhaps avoid that area. And so if you do decide, like, we're not saying that you can't, you have to obviously make a personal determination about whether or not you would go in the water. If you did, then we're saying you rinse off, and that's the same for your pets as well. And so we are just providing that as an assessment or a guide for you. But ultimately, the decision is yours. As we've seen, that people do have some, can create irritants for some people, whether that's on your skin if you are in the water, your throat or your eyes, but that's determined by the individual. And so this is just a guide to be able to plan where you want to go. It's also important to note that that's not necessarily saying you can't go down to maybe enjoy the local cafe, local small business. Like, we know that the perception of the bloom is just as harmful as the bloom itself, and that is why it's really important that people make those judgments and those assessments. Now, it might mean that, sure, you're not going to go right down to the water's edge that day and jump in the water, but it doesn't mean, for example, at Henley Square or Glenelg, that you can go for a walk, you can visit a cafe, you can drop into a small business and support them, because that's what's really clear here. Misinformation and perception can really just damage our local coastal communities and small businesses that we're trying to support.
Yeah, you combat that with the richness of the data, and you do have richer data than just the observational that's provided in the app. For example, you can go to the algal bloom water testing dashboard and see the latest water samples and see, well, how much, I'm not sure what the unit of measurement used for Karenia is, but whatever it might well be, how many particles in the water it might be. Is there a potential to add that data into the app like this so you can say, well, this is what Surf Lifesavers saw and this is what our scientists have last observed in the area? Because I think that gives you the entire picture.
That's right, and that's why we do have on our algalbloom.sa.gov website.
Did you put it on the app?
The other challenge with that is when that testing might have occurred. So that isn't obviously a daily test. And so potentially if you put that information there, that could be from a test that might have been taken a week ago. And so we have to factor that in, and herein lies the challenge. We held a lot of community forums, so we've had 1,800 people attend those forums across the state. And it was pretty consistent. People were saying, look, we just want a bit of a guide. We want that assessment around how to make our decision on the day. And I think, so that is where that information is being provided. It's daily. So we're looking at 2 updates a day, potentially going to 4 updates a day, so that you have that more regular snapshots of what the beach looks like at a particular time. So whilst the cell counts are there and they are on our algalbloom.sa.gov.au website, they might be from a few days ago or a week ago, not necessarily that day when people are making a decision.
Do we have an aspiration to get to the point where potentially we could be doing live cell counts in the water? You could see that at any given moment. We're not waiting sort of lab testing?
That's right. So, that is a challenge, that you have to undertake those lab tests and it can't happen immediately. And so that's why in our summer plan, so we've had $102.5 million in our summer plan, 50-50 with the federal government. And that includes a lot around kind of offshore water monitoring, water analysis. We're actually going to be trialling some really interesting technology. It's called an AI cytobot. Almost looks like a missile that can be dragged behind a boat that can kind of look at phytoplankton, algal species. So we're looking at ways and investing in research where we can get that quicker turnaround, that quicker data, and also around as well for our seafood industry as well, which is really important.
Can I respectfully say, Minister, that there's a bit of John Hewson birthday cake vibes about the government's communication strategy with this? We've had a lot of texts this morning, and they follow on from people like Naomi, who called in about her Cocker Spaniels, who over the long weekend were down at Port Wollonga and the dogs were coughing uncontrollably. Esty, Harriet and Olive, their 3 Cocker Spaniels became really sick, as did Naomi. Then we did the breaking at 8. We get texts like this one from Andrew saying, wow, this is all too confusing. I'm just going to stay clear of the beaches. I think part of the problem is that the issue with the health advice, it's sort of doing 2 things at the same time. Like you're saying the beaches are safe, nothing to worry about. But then the caveats start. It becomes, well, yeah, the beaches are safe. Oh, except maybe if you've got respiratory conditions. And then that was later modified to always carry your puffer. And the asthma people weren't quite singing from the same song sheet initially. If we're going to keep the public in the tent on this, it feels like there just needs to be more clarity around the advice that they're being given.
I would say that I think their health advice has been pretty consistent. We have said that it can cause irritation to some people, like we said, whether it's in their throat or their eyes, and then if it gets on your skin. No different to the allergens that we experience, during spring, for example, with hay fever. Like the fact is that I experience extensive hay fever during springtime, so I try and avoid, going places like plane trees, etc. So people just have to have that bit of personal, I think, responsibility to know that, it is safe to go to the beach, but if there is the presence of abnormal foam or discoloration of water, there might be the case that you potentially, if you're someone that does get affected by that, that the advice is just to move away from the area. Health has been pretty clear that this doesn't cause long-term impacts, and often when you move away from the area, the symptoms will subside. So I did listen to your segment with, I believe it was Naomi and Lauren in regards to their pets, and so again, the advice is consistent there. If you go down to the beach, if your dogs decide to have a bit of a splash in the water, just make sure you're rinsing them off. If they do experience symptoms, if you experience symptoms, just encourage you to move away from the area and that the symptoms will subside. But it is really important that we have that advice, but we also talk to people about the fact that the harmful algal bloom has only really affected 30% of our coastline. There's 70% that remains unaffected, and we still want people to be able to go out and enjoy our beaches this summer. And that's why we've announced this comprehensive summer plan that has those core objectives, making sure people can enjoy the beach, that we're supporting our coastal businesses and communities who this is a critical time for them in which to raise their revenue over summer. And then there's also that third element about environmental resilience and recovery. So we've got more than $20 million for natural environment initiatives.
Lucy Hood, the Minister for the Environment, thanks very much for coming in this morning.
Thanks for having me on.
All right, we're going to check traffic. Help Australians waiting to access critical medicines by visiting strongerpbs.com.au. for more information.
Morning there. Crashes coming out the Wazoo this morning. Got one at Modbury, Montague Road near North East Road. Another one at Brunella, Southern Expressway near Panelatinga Road. And a smash at Parcom causing delays. Reports that's in the intersection area. Oaklands Road near Marion Road. First water main getting fixed at Coromandel Valley, Black Road near Main Road with a camera this morning. Walkerville Terrace at Gilberton. Armour yourself to relieve symptoms of cold and flu with Bioceuticals Armour Force. Available at Chemist Warehouse. Chemist Warehouse, great savings every day. Always follow the directions for use. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
50 scorching summers. 50 freezing winters. And only one Morford Air helped us through it all. Adelaide's own homegrown family air conditioning company, Morford Air, has kept South Australians cool and warm for over 50 years. That's half a century of comfort. So when it's too hot or cold to bear, reach for the Morford Air. morford.com.au.
Morford Air. Is stress making your muscles tense and your nights restless? Caruso's new Super Magnesium plus Ashwagandha to the rescue. With 6 forms of magnesium, Caruso's Super Magnesium plus Ashwagandha supports muscle relaxation, relieves symptoms of stress and promotes deep sleep. So if you're tired of tense muscles and sleepless nights and can't wait for calm, comfort and peaceful relaxation, try Caruso's Super Magnesium plus Ashwagandha today. From leading pharmacies and health stores, always read the label and follow the directions for use.
Hi, Brett Ebert here for Mawson Lakes Mazda. OK, the end of financial year might be done and dusted, but at Mawson Lakes Mazda, the deals aren't. All makes, models and colours are being cleared, no exceptions. And there's a huge range of locate demos all ready for immediate delivery. Plus, you'll get free on roads, free stamp duty, free 12 months rego and $500 worth of accessories. Mawson Lakes Mazda, Salisbury Highway, T's and C's apply.
Tired of rising power bills? What if you could eliminate power bills forever? With NRG Solar, the new cheaper home batteries program gives eligible homes and businesses up to 30% off the cost of a new home battery, saving you thousands. NRG Solar has the know-how to help you claim the rebate and design a system that delivers real long-term value. Own your energy, own your future. Call 1300 858 160, that's 1300 858 160, or visit nrgsolar.com.au now.
If you're in South Australia, you can get $100 off when you take out a new NRMA comprehensive car insurance policy with promo code 100CAR. Because that's what a help company would do. Visit nrma.com.au/SA offer or call 132 132 to redeem today. Offer ends January 9th, 2026. Excludes renewing policies. South Australia risk addresses only. Full offer T's and C's online. Always read the PDS. PDS and TMDs available from NRMA Insurance.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
5 minutes to 9, happening a little bit later today in Adelaide. The Public Sector Association will be rallying in the city as they reach an impasse with the state government over their EBA. Charlotte Watson is the General Secretary and joins us on 5AA Breakfast now. Charlotte, good morning to you. Rallying for pay with regard to pay and conditions, what is it exactly that you guys are after, and where are the government at the moment in these negotiations?
Good morning, Dave and Will. Thanks for having me. Yeah, so we've put a claim forward to the government for 20% over an 18-month agreement. Government have come back to us with a 10.5% increase over 3 years, which doesn't go anywhere near enough catching up these public sector workers who have fallen significantly behind.
What sort of workers are we talking about, Charlotte? What sort of industries are they working in?
So there's 40,000 South Australians covered by this enterprise agreement. So it's your child protection workers who are looking after children, often in heartbreaking situations. These are the workers protecting the community during fires, floods and all manners of disasters at CFS and SES. They're correctional officers working in our prisons. They're the blood takers and the people that run the test in the lab so that we can get answers on our health, when we urgently need them. They're the housing officers getting people, into safe housing during domestic violence and homelessness. They're even, the workers that, carry us through the toughest times like COVID and like the algal bloom. They're on the beaches, cleaning up the beaches, doing the monitoring, running the tests. And these are the jobs that are critical to our service, and we are struggling to keep these people and stopping them walking out the door for jobs in the private sector or interstate where they can pick up an extra 40 grand overnight for the same work.
I tell you what, it must stick in your craw a bit when you hear some of the other campaigns and some of the claims that are being made, like Sasmoa and that, when you think what people are already on. Like, looking at the figures, so most Australian workers get annual pay increases of about 3.5%, which would mean after 6 years, most workers cumulatively would see their pay go up by 21%. Yet your members have only had pay rises of 6% over that period, which means they're actually currently earning $15,000 a year less than they were 6 years ago in real terms at a time of spiralling inflation. Pretty bad, isn't it?
Absolutely right. You've nailed it. I couldn't have said it better myself. These people are at breaking point. We have members that are calling us in tears on the phone because they can't keep going like this. They're working second jobs at Subway and they know that the manager at Subway on 65 grand a year is earning more than them. And these are vital services that we are talking about that keep this state running. So this is absolutely make or break for this government. This enterprise agreement, it is critical that we catch these workers up for how far they have fallen behind by just receiving the equivalent of 1% a year over the last 6 years.
Yeah, well, more power to your arm. Charlotte Watson there, the General Secretary of the PSA.
All right, let's have a look at Fuel Watch thanks to RAA Road Service. It's better to be a member with RAA. The cheapest unleaded this morning is at $1.52.5. You can get lots of places in the $1.50s, but the best, the Mobile Northeast Road Hillcrest, $1.52.5. The cheapest diesel, again, mid-$60s, $1.65.5. The Solo Northeast Road, Windsor Gardens. Make sure you tune into Leith Forest this afternoon. This is going to be a really interesting interactive lounge. She's going to be joined by representatives from Anderson Solicitors discussing the importance of estate planning and wills. It's the kind of thing that you never get around to. And if you don't, you're in a world of hurt and you wish you had been. Make sure you listen to Leith Forest a little bit later today. And congratulations to Jazzy. We loved your call a little bit earlier. You've won the food and beverage voucher for the Lucky Dumpling Market, Adelaide's Springtime Food and Entertainment Hub, 17th of October to the 9th of November, luckydumplingmarket.com. That's all from us. Stick around for Graham Goodings. We'll catch you tomorrow morning from 6 o'clock.
Coming up next on 5AA, the stories that matter to Adelaide with 5AA Mornings.